A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. For Jerry of the Circus.
Better save some room for dessert, Mr. Grayson.
Oh, don't tell me you've any room for pie, Jerry, after all that food you just put away.
I sure have. Bet I could eat 2 pieces.
Yeah, or maybe 3.
See, Mr. Grayson, how they treat me around here. Even bumps.
Doesn't seem to hurt you much.
Aw, gee, here comes the pie. Apple. Am I hungry?
I never saw so much food. They certainly feed you well around this place, don't they?
Well, they sure do. That's a good way to keep performers happy. We have to keep our animals happy in the same way.
You haven't seen Jason's cats yet, have you, Mr. Grayson?
No, I haven't. I'd like to.
I'm glad to take you around after lunch if you've got time.
Sure thing. Then I'll have to be running, or else my clients will think I'm neglecting them. But you've all been mighty nice to me this morning. Wish I could return it in some way. Say, just a minute. I've got an idea.
What?
I'm engaged to the grandest girl in the world. And can she make spaghetti? Why don't you all come around to my place after the show tonight, and we'll have a party?
Well, that sounds mighty nice, but it seems to me it's kind of a lot to ask of a girl who doesn't even know us.
She'd love to do it. She was heartbroken because she couldn't go to the show with me yesterday afternoon. But she'd be tickled to death to meet you all personally.
Gee, it'd sure be fun. Spaghetti. Golly, sounds swell.
Oh, there you go, thinking of food again, Jerry.
Well, what about it, folks? We'd love to have you.
Well, don't you think your girl would rather catch the show?
No, I'm sure she'd much rather meet you all.
Oh, seems like a lot of work, but if you're bound to do it, I'm sure I'd enjoy coming.
And ask Mr. Randall, too. I'm sorry he had to leave early.
He's always jumping up for meals to go and take care of something or other.
He said something about having to see Johnny.
Oh, you mean the old clown who usually eats at this table?
Yeah, the one that lost his duck this morning.
Why don't you ask him, too? I'd enjoy meeting him. Jerry, could you ask them for me?
Sure thing. I'll find out if they can come, and while you're looking at Jason's cat, then I'll let you know before you go.
Good, because I'll have to let Sally know how many to prepare for.
You better count Jerry as 2 people. Just look at his plate. It's clean as a whistle. They won't have to wash it, that's one thing sure.
Don't let them kid you, Jerry. We'll see that you get enough spaghetti tonight.
Well, looks like the rest of you are pretty near through. If you'll excuse me, I'll go and find Mr. Randall and Johnny Bradley and see if they can come to the party tonight.
Sure. Run along, boy. Think I'll go with Jason and Mr. Grayson over to the cat cages.
Okay. I'll see you over there. So long.
Goodbye.
Johnny Bradley.
Yes, Bradley. He's the clown.
Oh. I guess I've heard him referred to as just Johnny.
Well, why? Is anything wrong?
No. Bradley's an old family name of ours, though. Just seemed kind of familiar.
Ever had any circus folks in your family?
Not that I know of. My dad's an actor. Our folks were show folks a long way back. But I'm quite sure I hadn't heard of any of the family being in the circus end of show business.
Well, I guess we've just about cleaned up. Shall we start moving?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, am I full? How can you folks work on such full stomachs?
Well, you see, Grayson, we're outdoors a lot, and after all, the type of work we do is pretty strenuous. I suppose that all helps our appetites.
I certainly envy you folks spending the whole summer out in the open like this.
It is nice out today.
Yeah, but what about last night?
You see, Mr. Grayson, we've got to take the bad with the good.
Did that wind bother you last night? I wondered about that.
Oh, did it? We almost had a blowdown in the menagerie tent.
You don't say.
Yeah, the worst we've had in a long time. That menagerie tent took the brunt of the wind.
I can see there's lots of excitement with an outfit like this.
Yeah, I'll say so. Oh, say, Jason, I forgot to ask you about Daisy. What got into her last night?
Here we are now. These are my charges, Mr. Grayson.
They certainly look well kept.
Oh, you bet they are. Best care in the world.
Well, you're not telling me about Daisy, Jason. What is it, a secret?
No, it's just a sore spot. First time in years I've had to cut any of my act. Oh, of course, now and then something serious turns up, but...
You had to cut part of the act?
Yeah. You remember that line that jumps over all the others?
I should say I do. A magnificent jump.
Well, when she came into the arena, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't tell just what.
Well, she got her commands all balled up.
Well, I'll say she did. And acted so nervous and nasty. Made a couple of passes at me, and she's one of the gentlest lions I've got. Here she is in this cage.
She is a beauty.
What was wrong, Jason?
Well, I didn't know myself till I came back after the act. Evidently, a gust of wind must have blown up just as she came out of her cage and started down the runway. You see, her eye is still swollen.
Yes, I can see it's inflamed.
Well, when I came back after the act last night, her eye was most swollen shut.
Oh, poor Daisy.
That wind must have blown something sharp into her eye.
What'd you do?
Well, I washed it out with a solution.
But with her eye as bad as that, how could you get near her?
Well, I did it from the outside of her cage.
Well, how?
I got one of the keepers to help me. We gave her some meat so as to get her head over close to the bars.
Poor thing. Do you think she knew you were trying to help her?
I think so. Because when we used a large fork to hold her head still, she didn't put up much of a fight. Well, then I daubed her eye out good.
Quite a business caring for animals, isn't it?
I should say it is.
Jason! Mr. Grayson!
Here we are, Jerry.
Oh, I didn't see you behind the cage. How's Daisy today, Jason?
Fine.
Well, Jerry, did you see Mr.
Yeah.
Randall and...
He said thanks awfully. He'd like to come. But when I asked Mr. Bradley, well...
Oh, what's the matter? Can't he come?
Well, he was making up, and I couldn't tell for sure, but he acted kind of surprised or something.
Well, that's natural enough. He doesn't know Mr. Grayson. It is unusual to be asked to a party by someone you don't know.
No, it wasn't exactly that. I couldn't quite figure out what was wrong.
Well, Bradley's quite a stickler for etiquette. Probably thought as long as he hadn't met his host, he'd better
Oh,
not...
I'd be very glad to ask him personally. Why don't you take me around, Jerry?
Sure, I'll be glad to.
He's probably made up by now. Guess I'd better be getting going myself. After all, there is a show going on this afternoon.
Well, I'll say goodbye to you now then, Mr. Grayson.
I'll see you tonight. Be sure to tell Miss Patsy I'll be expecting her, too.
You can count on me.
Come on then, Mr. Grayson. We'll drop by Mr. Bradley's wagon on the way out.
Bye, folks.
So long. Goodbye.
Pretty nice friends you've got here in this circus, Jerry.
Well, I'll say so. I'm getting to know more of them better every day. Say, Mr. Grayson,
Yes?
how long do you think it'll take to get all that business taken care of at the Superior Court?
You mean how long before you can get to that box of your dad's?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm most anxious about.
It's pretty hard to say, Jerry. It just depends when it comes up on the court calendar.
Well, gee, I'll sure be glad when it's all over with.
So will I, for your sake.
Well, this is Mr. Bradley's wagon. Mr. Bradley?
Hello.
It's me again, Mr. Bradley. May I bring my friend in? He wants to meet you. Mr. Bradley, did you hear me?
Oh, yes, of course, Jerry, of course. I was just finishing my dressing. Come right in.
This is my lawyer friend I was telling you about, Mr. Bradley.
My name's Grayson. I'm glad to meet you, Mr. Bradley.
How do you do?
Mr. Grayson caught the show yesterday.
Yes, I know. Did you enjoy it, young man?
Indeed I did, sir. And I enjoyed your comedy with the duck very much.
Oh, gee, that's nothing. You should see him do it.
Jerry's a very loyal little friend. He's my understudy.
Understudy?
Yep. And just think, I could have gone on yesterday afternoon, but they couldn't find me. Wasn't that bad luck?
I hope you weren't indisposed, sir.
It was no consequence. You'll excuse my appearance, my makeup. But I get ready early and then sit and read a little. Till time to go on.
Not at all, sir. Though I must say I'd have no idea what you really look like if I should happen to see you on the street tomorrow.
Yes, the clown's makeup is a pretty good disguise. I found that out.
You sure missed not seeing him do it.
Jerry tells me you were kind enough to include me in a little party tonight.
Yes, sir. That's why we came by. Everyone's been so kind to me around here, I sort of thought a little party might be nice for a change.
You're very kind, but I'm afraid I won't be able to come, though.
Oh, please don't refuse. I'm going to get my fiancée to make...
Fiancée?
Yes. Yeah, you see, she makes marvelous spaghetti. I thought it might be nice for a change, and so...
Fiancée? You mean you're engaged?
Why, yes, of course.
But why didn't you tell me?
I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean, sir.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I'm forgetting myself. You must excuse me, my boy.
Surely. Aren't you feeling well?
Oh, yes, I'm quite all right, thank you. For a moment, I was thinking of something else. So, you're engaged to be married, eh?
Yes, sir. Of course, we'll have to wait a while yet. You see, I'm just beginning in business. It takes a little while to get started.
Wasn't it nice of Mr. Grayson to be willing to help me out about the box of Dad?
Indeed it was, Jerry.
I'm only too happy he came to me. Guess I've got a soft spot in my heart for show folks.
Yeah, his dad was a great actor. Isn't that something to be proud of?
He still is a great actor, Jerry. Yes, Mr. Bradley, I'm pretty proud of my father.
Well,
So you see, we'll have lots in common, I'm sure. Can't I prevail on you to join us after the show tonight?
Yeah, please, Mr. Bradley. We'll have lots of fun.
I'm sure you will. And I should like very much to meet your young lady, Mr. Grayson. But I'm afraid I'll have to deprive myself of the honor this time.
Oh, say, that's too bad. I thought sure you'd come if Mr. Grayson asked you personally.
I'd like to, Jerry, very much. But you know my old heart can't stand as much as it used to.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Oh, it's nothing, I assure you. But, well, I've had a couple of pretty big shocks in the last 2 days. I guess I'd just better take it easy.
I'm sorry. Sally will be sorry, too.
Sally? Is that her name? Sally Grayson.
Well, she's not Sally Grayson yet, Mr. Bradley.
Oh, no, of course not.
I'm afraid we've kept you too long now. Goodbye, Mr. Bradley. I'm certainly glad to have met you.
And I'm mighty glad to have seen you.
You're sure you won't change your mind?
Oh, thank you. I don't dare risk it.
Goodbye, then. Coming, Jerry?
Sure. See you later, Mr. Bradley. Hello there, Mr. Randall.
Oh, hello. What are you two doing in Johnny's wagon?
Trying to get him to join us tonight, but he turned us down. See you later, Mr. Randall, after the show tonight.
Yes, glad to come. Thank you, Grayson. Johnny, you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
But what happened?
My son, to see me in a clown's makeup.
Didn't he recognize you?
Oh, no, not with this grotesque face on.
Yes, but your voice.
So I changed it. Very little, but just enough. And after all, he'd scarcely expect to find me here.
And after all the trouble I went to keep them away from you.
The tides of fate, Mr. Randall. The tides of fate.
Johnny, why don't you chuck your pride and go to that party tonight? Surprise your boy.
No, I couldn't.
He'd be proud of you.
Don't ask me, Mr. Randall. Don't ask me.
you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. After weeks of investigation, a suspect in a burglary is picked up. You've got the evidence for a conviction, but over $200,000 in loot is still missing. Your job? Find it.
It was Saturday, March 5th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We're on our way back from the cell block, and it was 9:45 a.m. when we got to the interview room. Felony section.
I'll get the light.
Come on in, Bowen. Sit down.
Over there.
You want to smoke? Here's a light. You want to talk to us this morning? You're not doing yourself any good this way, Bowen.
We checked your apartment, Bowen, found a set of tools our crime lab says are the ones used in the Hendricks job.
We can put you in the front room of the house. You're dead, Bowen. Why don't you admit it? This is the first time you've been nailed for anything big. You go along with us, and the judge might take it into consideration. If we have to write it up this way, he's liable to throw the book in your face.
Who was with you on the job, Bowen?
We know you didn't swing it alone. Somebody had to carry the light.
Come on, who was it?
All right, what about the loot? Where's that?
That stuff's not going to do you any good in the joint.
There's over $200,000 in furs and jewelry missing. We know you had it. Now, where is it?
How about it, Bowen? You're just causing yourself a lot of grief.
Okay, let's go. On your feet. Come on.
Too bad, Cop.
Is that so?
Sure. There's nothing you can do to make me tell where the stuff is. Not a thing.
Sure.
You're never going to find out where it is. Never.
Well, it really doesn't make a lot of difference. You're never going to use it. 3 weeks previously, on February 10th, 2 unidentified persons had entered a home in the Bel Air district. They'd taken furs and jewelry valued at over $200,000. The investigation conducted by burglary detail had netted one of the suspects. He was identified as Cade Bowen, WMA, 32 years. His arrest record had listed several charges of drunk driving and disturbing the peace. However, he'd never been picked up on a felony before. In spite of our efforts, we'd been unable to break him down. He refused to identify the other suspect or to tell us where we could recover the stolen goods. All of his friends and relatives were questioned. None of them could aid us. The case on him was prepared for the district attorney's office, and we continued to look for the other suspect. Monday, March 7th, 8:02 a.m., I checked into the squad room.
That you, Joe?
Yeah.
Now, you're late.
A couple of minutes, yeah. I got it. Burglary Friday. Oh, yeah, Emery. Mm-hmm. Sure. No, not a sign of it. Well, we'd like to hear it anyway. Where can we meet you? Where? Yeah, all right. We'll be right over. About 5 minutes. Right. Goodbye. It was Emery.
Who?
Emery Docks. Says he wants to see us.
What about?
Some stolen fur coats. Frank and I left the office and drove over to see the informant. We found him in Pershing Square watching a checker game.
Just a minute, Joe. Be with you.
All right.
No, not that one. Always does it. Okay, let's go. Always the same with that guy.
Is that right?
Yeah, always the same. Set him up that way and he'll jump. As soon as he does, game is over. He can't see it, but it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Real pigeon for the setup. Sit over there and talk.
You know my partner, don't you, Emery?
Yeah, sure. Hi.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Guess you can't win them all. We can sit there.
What do you want to see us about?
Oh, fell over something day before yesterday. Thought maybe it'd make sense for you.
Mm-hmm.
Met a guy who had some coats for sale. Price he was quoting had to be hot.
Where'd you meet him?
Bar over on First.
See a friend?
Not to make a touch. I see him in the bar once in a while, but he don't ever buy a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Other night he got real palsy-walsy. I don't know, maybe he was gassed or something. but he sure was friendly.
You met him in the bar?
Yeah, he stopped in to have a belt before I ate. This guy was there, sitting on the stool next to me. Got to talking. He almost knocked me over when he bought a drink. Right on the floor, he knocked me.
Mm-hmm.
One thing led to something else. He asked what I was doing. I said, oh, just about anything to turn a buck. He asked me if I had any money I wasn't using. I said I didn't.
Yeah.
He said it was too bad. Said if I could raise a couple of long bills, he could turn me on to something good.
The coats? Huh?
Yeah. Told me how a friend of his came up with these fur coats, wanted to dump them, said the price was real good.
What kind of coats were they?
Mink, full length. Had a couple of those scarf things, too. He said they were Stone Martin or something, where the skins look like they're biting each other.
Yeah.
Like those, Stone Martin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Guy made a big thing about how the price was right, and if I had any loot, I could come out with a big thing.
Did he say where his friend got him?
No. Matter of fact, I don't think there was a friend. Coats were in his car. I know if I had that kind of merchandise, I wouldn't put it in nobody else's pocket, that's for sure.
What's this fellow's name, do you know?
Jarvis Dean.
That's D-E-A-N?
I guess so.
What do you know about him?
Well, not much. I told you I see him around. He's an angle fella, always looking for a touch.
You hold any kind of a job?
Not so it would stand out.
How's he live?
Oh, off other people mostly. Once in a while he makes a big score and he's popping for drinks all over the place. A couple of days he's blown the wad and he's back on the dole.
You know where you can find him?
I can't give you no address.
Usually around the bar?
Mostly. You won't find him there for a couple of days now, though.
Hmm?
You said something about going out of town, down to Palm Springs. Something about how he could make a contact down there and unload the coats.
This Jarvis Dean ever been arrested?
Well, I don't know. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about jails. Figures, though.
What do you mean?
The way he talks, some of the people I've seen him with, 6 to an even, they can draw your floor plan of the laundry up at Q.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us the name of the people?
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'd rather not. They ain't done nothing to me, and I'd like to keep it that way. Some of them are pretty mean.
Yeah.
You understand, it isn't that I'm afraid, but I don't see no reason to stir nothing up.
Mm-hmm.
Does Dean say where this contact was at Palm Springs?
Oh, he mentioned some bar called Spanky's, that's all.
In the town itself?
I guess so. When I couldn't spring the money to go with him, he kind of cooled off. He stopped being real friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I got to thinking about it and figured maybe it'd mean something to you, so... Well, the guy goes around with a couple of grand of furs in his car. He didn't win him in a raffle. Got to be something there.
Uh-huh.
Do you any good?
Yeah, we'll check it.
When I first heard about it, I thought it'd do some good right away. I thought of you guys right away.
Yeah.
I always like to try and help when I can.
Mm-hmm.
Now it works out both ways. Maybe you can give me a hand sometime. You don't like now?
What?
I could sure use a couple of bucks. Things ain't been going too good.
No, that's too bad.
It's just temporary. It won't last. A couple of days, I got a job coming up. Hotel over on Wilshire. Pearl diving. Guy's been drafted, and I'm in line for the job in just a couple of days.
Well, I've only got a couple of bucks, Emery. You can have them if it'll help.
Sure, do anything at all.
There you are.
Thank you. Hey, you got a pencil?
For what?
Pencil. Got one I can use?
Yeah, here.
I always like to keep these things legal. You never know.
Yeah.
There you are. My IOU. Pay you back as soon as I start to work.
Well, don't worry about it, Emery.
No. You gotta do these things up legal.
Can you tell us what this guy Dean looks like?
Yeah, you think there's really something to it, huh?
Oh, we can check it.
Well, sure figures he stole the coats, and then he reasoned he'd want to give them away if he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Guy like that, he don't do nothing for nothing. Gotta be a payoff somewheres.
Well, then he won't be disappointed.
Huh?
There'll be one. Frank and I got the description of Jarvis Dean and the car he was driving, then we returned to the office. We had the name run through R&I, and we found a record. The mugshot was pulled and shown to Emery Docks. He said it was the man who tried to sell him the coats. We put out a local broadcast and an APB on the suspect and his car. 11:25 a.m. Cade Bowen was questioned again, but he refused to give us any information on whether or not Dean was his accomplice in the burglary. At 2:30 that afternoon, Frank and I met with Captain Bernard in his office.
You think it's the Hendricks loot?
Should be. We've checked around. There haven't been any other thefts that are covered.
Got the list?
Yeah, here.
Thanks.
Now, you can see right there, Skipper. 2 mink coats, 1 Stone Martin scarf.
Mm-hmm. What about the jewelry?
Well, he didn't say anything about it. Doesn't mean it's not there.
Mm-hmm. What about this bar in Palm Springs you mentioned?
Spanky's?
Yeah. You know anything about it?
We know where it is.
What kind of place is it?
Resort town bar.
What about the reputation?
Clean. We never had any reports about it.
Uh-huh. You think that's where they'll turn the stuff?
Well, we don't know. All we got's the name.
Someplace to look. More than we've had.
You can't get anything out of Bowen?
He won't even admit he's in Los Angeles.
What's he got to say about the evidence?
Just sits and looks at it.
And Palm Springs is the only lead you got?
That's it.
Okay, trot it down. Can you leave right away?
I can. How about you, Smith?
Just call Faye.
That's it, then. Go on down there, see what you can find out. Be sure to check with their department. They might have something for you.
All right.
When will you be back?
Well, if it works out, should be sometime in the morning.
Check with me as soon as you get in.
Yeah.
This fellow Dean got a record?
Yeah, assault 211.
Sounds like he might be heavy.
Possible.
Well, take it easy.
Yeah.
He's the fellow you're after. He's not going to want to give that stuff up.
Well, that puts it on our backs. We got to convince him. Frank and I went down to the carpool and checked out a trip car. 2 hours later, we pulled into Palm Springs. We talked with the local authorities. They had nothing on Jarvis Dean. As far as they knew, there was nothing wrong with Spanky's bar. We got the address of the place and drove over. Yeah, what'll it be? Police officers. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, L.A. cops, huh? Something wrong?
I would like to ask you some questions.
Sure. Come on back here. It'll be easier to talk.
All right.
Well, what can I do for you?
I'd like you to take a look at these pictures. Tell us if you know this man.
No, I never saw him.
How about this one?
Sure. Yeah, he's been around.
Is he here now?
No, he doesn't usually make it this early.
You seen him at all today?
He was in this morning around 10 in there.
You know where we can find him?
What's he done?
Police business.
Well, just so it doesn't get anybody here in trouble. That guy's a real crackpot.
What do you mean?
He's lonely. He's good business, but if I had my druthers, I'd just assume he stayed away.
Why is that?
Well, the way he acts. We got a lot of big people coming here. You know, the picture crowd, a lot of money. They like things quiet. They come down here for a rest, and that's what they want. A guy like that fella, they don't help.
Is that right?
Sure, he gets gassed, makes a big noise all about how he's buying drinks for the house. The customers don't like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The drinks aren't bad enough, but he's got to start a pitch.
What do you mean?
I've been trying to set something up, some kind of a deal.
You know what it is?
No, I don't pay a lot of attention. I just hear him talking to some of the people. Gets any worse, though, I'm going to have to 86 him.
Does he come in alone?
Sometimes.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a chick he brings in once in a while. The two of them just sit there and drink.
You know her?
Why, she in trouble?
Do you know her?
Yeah, her name is Blanche. She lives down here.
She around?
She was.
When?
About half an hour ago. Said she was going out, get something to eat. She'd be back.
You know where she went?
No, half a dozen places inside a block she could have gone. If you want to talk to her, the best thing would be to wait right here.
All right.
She was carrying a real load when she walked out. I hope that food helps her.
She said she lives down here.
Yeah, she's got a place out the south end of town.
What's she do for a living, you know?
Well, I don't know. I don't think she's got a job. Seems I heard her say she was divorced. Probably got a chunk of dough from her old man.
She and this fellow pretty friendly?
You mean the guy in this picture?
Yeah.
I guess you could say that. Most of the time they're together.
How often is he here?
Oh, he comes in the place almost every night, you know, when he's in town.
Is that quite a bit?
Yeah, 3-4 days a week.
You ever hear what he did for a living?
No, I don't think he works steady. Hey, there's your girl now.
All right. Pour me a drink, huh?
Yeah, Blanche, there's a couple of fellas here want to talk to you, huh?
Oh, that's all? Bring them on. I always like to talk to fellas. If they're friends of yours, old Bart, I know they're okay.
Yeah, sure, Blanche.
Are these them? Hey, now, they're pretty nice looking. You know that, fellas? You're pretty nice looking.
Wonder if we get to a booth, might be a little easier to talk to you.
Oh, the same to you. I'll talk right here. I won't say a thing. What's your name, honey?
Friday.
Say, that's a funny name. Like today, huh?
That's right. It's my partner, Frank Smith.
I do.
Oh, come on now. Don't try to pitch that at me. Smith. A phony if I ever heard one. Hey, Bart.
Yeah, Blanche.
How's that drink? I stay here all night, you know.
Do you think you had enough of that?
No. You just keep your big yap shut.
You better take it easy, Blanche.
Take it easy, nothing. Ain't no fellow with a name like Friday and Smith gonna tell me and not to have a drink. They're a couple of phonies, that's what they are.
All right,
Phonies.
settle down now. We're police officers.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, I'm the Queen of Sheba. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, Mr. Phony?
Come on, Blanche. You better quiet down.
Don't yell at me, you bartender. Got any class at all, you keep these mashers out of here. A fine, lousy bar you're running.
Let's go outside, lady.
You just try and take me out there. You come another step, I'll knock your head off.
Blanche, please, honey, take it easy.
All right, miss, you said enough. Now let's go outside.
Oh, sure. You got a big picture of that, me going out there and you two can gang up on me. No, that's N-O. I ain't going no place with you.
You got it wrong.
I have I? Well, I'll just show you. Police! Police! Somebody help!
We are the police.
You want another call? Help! Police!
Sit down.
All right. I know when I'm late. You don't have to shove me around anymore. Just leave me alone, that's all. Just leave me alone.
You got some hot coffee?
Yeah, sure, I'll get it.
Bring it back to this booth here, will you? Come on, everything's going to be all right, lady.
No, it isn't. Not ever again. Not ever.
All right, sit down there. There's a handkerchief.
Thanks. I never did anything like that before.
That's all right.
I guess I'm arrested.
Not yet.
I didn't mean anything by it. Nothing. Just I didn't know you guys, and then I was a little drunk. Just all of a sudden I wanted to hit something. That's all. Just hit something. You were handy.
Here's your coffee.
Thanks.
You want cream or sugar?
No, what?
Anything I can do for you?
No, that's all.
I'll be up front if there's.
All right.
Go ahead, miss. Try the coffee. Might make you feel better.
Oh, it's hot. I'm too sorry about hitting you.
That's all right.
Really? It's nice of you to say so. What were you going to ask me when all this started?
You want to take a look at this picture here and tell us if you know the man?
Sure. I guess I owe you that. Is the guy?
Yeah, that one there.
Sure, it's Jarvis.
Last name Dean?
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
Guy. Had a couple of drinks with him.
You know where he is?
Not now. Saw him this morning. Had a cup of coffee. Haven't seen him since then.
Is he still in town?
I don't think so.
You know where he is?
No. Said he'll run up to L.A. on some business.
Did he say what kind of business?
No. We haven't talked much about that.
You got any idea where Dean was going in L.A.?
He didn't give me an address.
Did he say when he'd be back?
That's what we had the beef about. He just shoved off. Said something about meeting the guy up there. Said this fellow's in some kind of trouble and that he had to try and square it.
Did he say who it was?
Let's see. I'm not sure I can remember.
It's pretty important.
Now, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. It was Bowen. Yeah, I had to see a guy named Bowen.
Did he say what it was about?
No. Not that I can remember. He just told me that he and this Bowen guy were on a deal together. Bowen had lost it up. Said he had to take care of him.
The description of Dean's car that the girl gave us matched the one we'd gotten from our informant. We checked the room he'd occupied in Palm Springs. We talked to the local authorities. They agreed to check further on the suspect. Frank and I left for Los Angeles. The following morning, we contacted Captain Bernard.
It all goes together.
Huh?
You better find him fast.
Why, something wrong?
I don't know, but it could happen.
What do you mean?
Bowen was released on a writ last night.
Additional bulletins were gotten out on both men. Bowen's house was put under surveillance, and all of his known hangouts were watched. 2 days passed without word. And then on Thursday, March 10th at 10:57 a.m., Frank and I got back to the office from checking out a lead.
Ready?
Yeah.
Note in the book for you. Important.
Thank you.
What is it?
Supposed to call the sheriff's department.
Wonder what it is.
I don't know yet. We'll find out.
Well, I didn't figure you would, Joe, not until you made the call. Just wondered what it was.
Dave Terry, please. Well, Dave? Joe Friday. No, we haven't. Where? Any idea when that happened? No, we better come over and see you. Right. Bye. We're in trouble.
What do you mean?
I don't know. They found a body out on the desert this morning. Looks like it was a hit and run.
Bowen?
No, Jarvis Dean. Frank and I left the office and went over to the Hall of Justice where we met with Sergeant Dave Terry. He showed us the photographs taken at the scene and the reports filed by the officers who discovered the body. From the appearance, it had been struck by a car traveling at high speed. A thorough search had been made of the area, but no trace of Jarvis Dean's car could be found. There was no apparent explanation as to how he'd gotten out on the desert. Another local and an APB was gotten out asking that Cade Bowen be picked up for questioning on suspicion of murder. A week went by. There was no word of the suspect. Border stations had been alerted in the event he tried to escape into Mexico. Checkpoints at the California-Nevada border had descriptions of both the car and the suspect. Saturday, March 19th, Frank and I got back from the stats office.
Well, it's another dead end.
Yeah.
Where to now?
Well, we can check with the skipper, see if he's got any ideas.
All right.
Come on in. Where are you been? Been looking for you.
Stats office. They just finished a run. They didn't come up with anything.
You don't need it.
Huh?
You got half the country looking for Bowen, and he's in your pocket.
What do you mean?
Main jail. Picked up last night in 502.
Cade Bowen had been picked up the night before at the corner of 7th and Hill Streets. He'd been observed by a radio car driving in an erratic manner and had refused to stop when the officers directed him to. After a 10-block chase, he'd been halted, but when the officers asked to see his identification, he told them he didn't have any. He was taken to the main jail and booked on charges of drunk driving. A check of his fingerprints had revealed his name, and we were notified. His car had been impounded, and the crime lab was going over it. We had the suspect brought to the city hall.
What is it this time? I held up the Federal Reserve?
All right, come off it, Bowen. You know where you're sitting now. This is the last time around for you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You won't hear it again.
Where you been for the last week?
Sleeping.
No, I know. Where?
Any place I could find a soft mattress? Hey, you guys ought to pull some strings and get some new bedding over the main jail. Those bunks are hard.
Sure. You know a man named Jarvis Dean? Jarvis Dean, do you know him?
Might.
That's no answer.
That's the best I can do.
Look, mister, we're getting tired of playing with you. You're in trouble, and it doesn't come in any bigger sizes. Now, I'm not going to tell you to play it smart because you wouldn't know what I was talking about, but you snap to and answer these questions. Now, do you know Jarvis Dean?
I met him.
When'd you see him last?
A couple of weeks ago.
We understand he was with you on the burglary.
It's a fairy tale.
We got it straight.
I didn't know you listened to gossip.
Where'd you get the car you were driving last night?
I bought it.
From who?
Used car dealer.
Well, then you tell us why it's registered to Jarvis Dean, will you?
Well, I don't know anything about that.
Last time we talked to you, it was for a burglary beef. It's a lot more serious this time.
That's so.
That's right. Suspicion of murder.
Who'd I kill?
Jarvis Dean.
You're out of your head.
We always are. Now tell us why he let you drive his car.
I don't know if it is his car.
Department of Motor Vehicles says it is.
We checked it. All of the stolen merchandise was found.
Now, you got no right to go through my things.
Last time we heard of the stuff, Jarvis Dean had it.
What's the matter? Did you have a fight about what to do with it?
Maybe you got sore because he was letting you carry the beef yourself. That what happened?
Come on, Bowen. You're boxed in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, let's check the office, see if there's any word from the crime lab.
I'll do it.
Tell you what, cop. You win, I'll tell you.
About Dean?
I don't know anything about him. I'm talking about the burglary.
Yeah.
I did it. You don't have to go any further.
No deal. We got you on something bigger. I think we can make that hold up.
Look, I'm willing to cop out to the other.
How'd you do?
Well, here's the report.
Well, that wraps it up.
Yeah?
All right, Bowen, let's go.
Huh?
We don't have to talk to you anymore. The crime lab just finished going over the car.
Yeah?
They found where you had that fender repaired.
Well, some drunk ran into me.
They checked the springs underneath, found traces of fabric, matched the jacket Dean had on when he was killed.
We got enough to make you on it.
You can't prove I was driving the car, and there's no way you can prove it.
We think we can.
Go ahead. You just take it into court. Try. By the time you get through, the judge and the jury will be laughing.
All right?
Sure, they'll tell you how far out you are. They'll laugh right in your face.
They'll tell you something, too.
Yeah?
And they won't be laughing.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent. On July 16th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Cade Neil Bowen was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. On recommendation of the jury, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in the state penitentiary, San Quentin.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
This one's about Pete Kelly. It's about the world he goes around in. It's about the big music and the big trouble and the big 20s. When they ask you, tell them this one's about the blues. Pete Kelly's blues.
Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Jim Moser and music by Dick Cathcart.
Number 417 Cherry Street is a standard speakeasy. The help is paid in cash. The books are burned at the end of the month. Every week we use 30 cases of booze and a pound of coffee. After salaries, there's gas and lights and a payoff to the Prohibition boys. In Kansas City, the price is good. For $100, they steer in the drunks and make one raid a year. The place is run by George Lupo. He's a quiet little guy who wouldn't give you the sweat off an ice pitcher. The beer's green and the gin's as young as yesterday and the music's loud. I'm Pete Kelly. I play cornet. We start every night about 10 o'clock and we play till they sweep out the broken glass. Well, we don't draw any customers. We don't chase any away. The music is straight New Orleans. It started in the front parlors of Storyville and drifted up north. Some of it laid over in Chicago. That's where I got on. And wrote it out here with a piano player named Augie. Well, he's still with the band, but last night he was barely with it. We took a break about 11. Augie was late getting back. Might as well have stayed in there because he kept looking around the room, and the way the piano sounded, you'd think he had on a catcher's mitt. All right, that'll do it. Let's get off for a while, huh?
Sorry, Pete. Running a little behind tonight.
You haven't left the station. What's the matter, Augie?
I'm nervous. Take a look around. Near the door, back this way. Place is full of cops.
Don't forget it. Have Jake open a couple of windows. Take a walk. Get yourself in shape, huh?
Not till I find out which way to fall. These boys are here for heavy duty. I learned that out in the kitchen.
Now, let's duck behind the stand. All right, what about it?
You know that's Courtney?
I drink his beer, that's all.
Well, somebody shot Courtney up tonight out near Highway 40.
Well, that's too bad. He'd have drawn a good crowd downtown. Who killed him?
I don't know, but whoever he is in for a big night. The police are trying for him. So's his partner.
Well, let him play. How does our place fit into it?
I couldn't guess, but we'll find out soon. See the big guy that just walked in the door?
Yeah, boss cop?
Almost. It's Eddie Newman. That's Courtney's partner.
Come on, we better get back in the stand.
Kelly.
Yeah.
My name's Newman. Come outside.
Well, we're due to play.
I'll hear you later. Come on. You hear about Dutch, Courtney? Pick him out of the mud tonight.
Means nothing to me.
Does to me. Dutch was a friend.
Well, if it'll help, cry.
I'm short on time, Kelly. Now, give me a rundown on Gus Trudeau.
There's nothing to say. He played for a while and he went to the boneyard.
You know him? You know his sister?
You'll have to ask Courtney about that. I haven't seen her since the old days.
You knew Gus well enough to figure he didn't like Dutch. Courtney didn't like him 1 pound.
Well, you can't blame him. Dutch sidestepped and paid Trudeau's way to jail.
Bookkeeping. I don't know anything about it.
All right, look, Newman, you're on the wrong track. This is a job killing. Your boy got frisky and somebody sent down a Chicago gun. The price tag shows.
Sorry, Trudeau's my pick.
What did he hit him with, a high-powered rifle? Gus Trudeau's away up in Leavenworth.
He used to be. Gus went over the wall this morning. When he shows up, I want him.
Well, why pick me?
Now, ask around. He'll head for you. He's broke. He'll need train fare.
No, not if he killed Dutch Courtney. Somebody will give him a railroad. When they dragged the blues out of the back room and moved them up front, there were 3 of the best leading the parade. They were all blowing cornets. One was Buddy Bolden, one was King Oliver, and the other was Gus Trudeau. Oh, he was a lot of music, but not much man. He picked me up on a union date on the south side of Chicago and taught me how to play. He got into me for a Boston 3-star cornet and gin for the rest of his life. When he got down to running errands for Dutch Courtney, I left for Kansas City. A couple of months later, Courtney needed a patsy, and Trudeau was it. He wound up with a 5-year stand at Leavenworth. But Gus never felt right unless he was in trouble. Only this time he cut me in for a piece, too. Well, I picked up a drink at the bar and fought my way back to the stand.
Anything wrong?
No. Did you finish the set?
One more to go, Jasmine.
All right, let's do it.
What's wrong, Pete?
A friend of ours killed Dutch Courtney. Jasmine. Let's get off for a while.
Now, who did you say killed Dutch Courtney?
Gus Trudeau.
What with? Brad? Trudeau's in jail.
No, not since this morning.
Which one of you is Kelly?
I am.
A friend of yours in town wants to see you right away.
Who is it?
He's waiting up at your room.
Did he give a name?
Just Gus.
An hour later, I was still looking for an out. It was a little after 2 a.m. Our baseman, Red, loaned me his car keys, and I slipped out. I got on to 12th Street and picked up his Erskine coupe and headed up for my room. All the way out Grand Avenue, the streetlights were spending the rest of New Year's alone. Some guys with wide brooms were pushing at the confetti, and the fog was loafing down Washington Square. When I got to my place, I parked the car in back and headed up the stairs. College kids down at the end of the hall had their door open. Their party sounded young. I was looking for Gus when I opened the door, but he had a substitute. I knew her way back at 18th and Halstead. She was pretty and the fastest freight in town. That must have been a long time ago, because somewhere along the line she'd run into a batch of Wednesday weekends. She wasn't pretty anymore.
Hello, Pete.
Where's your brother?
I don't know where Gus is. That's why I'm here. I knew you'd be the first one he'd come to.
Yeah. Now what about the break?
I was up to see him 2 weeks ago. He didn't say anything about it. Pete, we've got to help him.
I've been hearing that since I met him.
You're the only one who remembers, Pete. You're the only one who cares.
Yeah, well, a lot of people care now. Eddie Newman wants him. The cops are looking hard.
I've got to find him before they do. You got to help Pete.
He was supposed to meet me. That's all I know. I'll wait for him.
He needs a hand, Pete. He's in deep.
Yeah, well, he's always in deep. Now, you do what you want, Madge. I ran front for Gus too long. I'm out of the habit now.
Please.
Gus wants cover. He can look for a police station.
Gus can get away. Some money and a car. That's all he needs.
It's going to take more than that to get out. Every cop in town's working tonight.
Oh, give him a chance, Pete. Help him.
No, thanks.
Gus has been good to you, Pete. He taught you music. He's been nothing but good to you.
I'm paid up. I bought his gin for 5 years.
Then do it for me. For what I used to be worth.
No, it's old. It was 80 years ago. I can't help it.
Do it for me. I haven't changed that much.
I have.
You're still the same.
You've been working at it.
You remember.
Yeah.
It's the same, Petey. It's just like the first time.
You never had a first time. How about a drink?
Will you help me, Pete? Find Gus. Get him out of town.
All right, $10. As far as I go, $10.25. Now I'm getting off.
Where you going?
Back to work. Tell Gus to take care of himself.
Hold it right there, Pete.
You stay too long in Chicago, Madge.
I bought the gun in Kansas City. Don't go for the door.
You better give it to Gus. He may need it.
We're going to find him. You're going to help me.
All right, come on. Give me the gun, Madge.
If I shoot, it'll hurt.
Yeah, come on. Put it away, Madge.
Oh,
stop it.
Who is she?
We'll trade. Who are you?
Cage. I work downtown on homicide. Who you got on your floor?
Madge Trudeau.
Tell me about her.
I knew her in Chicago. After that, I heard she did favors for Dutch Courtney. After that, I don't know.
Is she tired? What's she doing here?
Looking for Gus Trudeau.
Where is Gus?
I don't know. I've been asked that twice tonight. This is the third time I don't know.
You probably will.
Why? Why do I have to get into this?
Because you're Gus Trudeau's friend.
Then let's get him another one. I'm tired of the job.
I don't blame you, fella. You'll come out of this with a lot of trouble.
Let's see.
I'll make it simple. If Gus Trudeau shows and you turn him over to Newman, we'll send you up as an accessory to murder. If he shows and you turn him over to us, Newman will probably kill you.
Oh, that's real good. In the meantime, what do you guys do for a living?
We're busy. We couldn't prove Newman killed you. It's after 2. Get back to that club.
Leave you here?
I got work to do.
Like what?
This woman. I'll see if I can get anything out of her.
Yeah, well, it's been done before, but I'll bet 10 to 1 in your case.
Go on back. I'll tidy up here.
Good night, cop. Leave the rugs. I left Cage standing in the middle of the room looking down at Madge Trudeau. He didn't watch me leave, but I figured it wouldn't be too long before he turned that gleam back on me. Well, I went back to 417 and ran into our piano man, Augie, outside in the alley trying to steal some clean air.
Happy holidays, Petey. How's Gus?
I didn't see him.
Oh, forget him. I got it all figured out for the two of us, Petey. Today we'll spend our time dodging destiny. We'll hit for some small back room. I'll bring the bottled goods, and we'll live on gin and sauerkraut and make the walls sit up and listen. One horn, one piano. The blues, Petey. We'll write them in the middle of next year.
All right, save it. Will you just set me straight?
Right now, across the river, there's 2 places. The High Life Club or Fat Eddie's.
You sure he's there?
That's what the word is. I'll pass the hat down at the Union Hall for both of you.
Is Gus alone over there?
He is now, but there's going to be a crowd.
What do you mean?
I told you.
Yeah.
When Eddie Newman gets back, I got to tell him.
I knew it was a silly move. Newman had 100 guns on tour for Gus. Cage and the boys from headquarters were standing by for seconds. Helping Gus Trudeau was out of order, but I couldn't get one thing out of my mind. If Gus did kill Courtney, why didn't he pick up some travel money before he did it? I was backward. If you're going to hang up your pants, you take them off first. Well, it was about 3 a.m. when I got down to the river and crossed over to the Kansas side. The High Life Club was smoked up and had a little of everything, except Gus Trudeau. I looked in the kitchen and tried a back room. Then I went to the bar to see if I could drum up some talk. I had one taker, a boy with wavy black hair. He got up from a table of 3 others, walked over and sat down next to me.
Hello. Come in your office?
No, it's the first time.
Welcome, then. Buy a drink?
No, I'm all set. Try one yourself.
Oh, I think drinking's all right, but I hate people who drink too much, don't you?
You work here?
Well, not regularly. Sometimes I dance and the other act doesn't show up. You here alone? Waiting for someone?
Waiting for a guy named Gus Trudeau.
You one of his friends?
I'm it. Where is he?
He left a while ago. I'm not sure where he went.
Well, get sure. It's important.
Well, he mentioned someone named Investigator.
All right, hold it.
What do you hear, Kelly?
All right, get away, Newman. Try another stool.
This'll do.
If he asks you to leave, I think you should leave.
Well. Choir boy. That's nice.
Leave him alone.
Who is he?
I never saw him before.
What's he know about Trudeau?
Nothing.
Don't kid me. You're not here to spend the time of day. You're here for Trudeau. You, little friend, where's Gus Trudeau?
I don't have to talk to you. I'm a guest in this place.
You're not anymore. Now climb down and head for that door, both of you.
You can't make us do that. We're not going to leave.
It's a split vote, Buster. I don't like the way he pushes.
That's right. Just walk. I'll bet you look good.
I knew right then. As we walked out, I knew Eddie Newman wasn't going to leave him alone. He was going to pick at him, whether he knew anything about Gus Trudeau or not. It was going to get messy, and the boy with the nice eyes was going to help. Outside, it wasn't snowing anymore, but the ground was covered right down to the river. The moon out, and it looked all right if you like nature. We walked over toward a bunch of trees. Newman's car was parked there, a black touring sedan with a strong-arm guy in the back seat. There was another one sitting on the running board. He had a machine gun across his lap.
This'll do. All right. Now let's hear about Gus Trudeau.
I don't know anything about him. This man and I were just talking.
Go easy, Newman. I never saw him before. Does he always talk to strangers? I bet he does.
None of your business.
Where's Gus Trudeau?
I wouldn't tell you. Suppose I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Oh, yes, you would.
Keep your hands off of me.
Stop pressing, Newman. You don't care about Trudeau now. You just don't like this guy. Stay out, Kelly. Come here, you. Stop screeching. I'll break your arm off.
Keep your hands off of me, you big, dirty pig.
You're in trouble, fella. Shut up.
He is a pig. His hands are dirty and his teeth are dirty. No pity, even his clothes are dirty. Oh, that man.
Now lay there. All right, Dave, move in here. Back away, Kelly. You're up, choir boy.
Please, mister, do something. Don't let a thing like this happen.
It already has, Buster. Come on, Dave. It's getting cold. Newman climbed into the car and they drove off. I stayed there a minute to look at the guy in the snow. His face was unmarked. I did him a favor. I rolled him over so it showed in the moonlight. I knew his mother'd want him to look good tonight. Eddie Newman's chopper squad cut him down. Well, the name Bessie had to mean Fat Annie's place up the river on the Kansas side. I made it there and found Bessie. She was back at the piano wandering around somewhere in the middle of the blues. You couldn't miss that voice if she took up yodeling. Bessie Smith.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Bessie. What do you know?
Round back, Pete. You go up the stairs, the loft. Way up there at the top.
Thanks, Bessie.
Okay, Pete. All right, Eddie.
I felt my way out around back and up a couple of flights of stairs that didn't creak in time with the music. There was a door at the top. I pushed it open. He was hunched back on a pile of hay in the corner. He sat up and blinked a couple of times. There wasn't much left, just the frame. And rattling around inside, a lot of tired echoes that wouldn't lay down and die. There was an empty gin bottle on the floor.
Petey, I knew you'd get here.
Yeah, well, they didn't make it easy.
You're looking good, Petey. Everything's 6 to an even, huh?
You forget easy, Gus. You're in a jam. You broke jail.
Yeah, I told him all about you up there, Petey. I told him there's another Gus Trudeau blowing down in Kansas City. I'm proud of you, Pete.
Yeah, sure, Gus.
You're just like me, Pete. I told him all about you. You're the only good thing I ever done. I knew you'd come through. Car and some money, Pete. It'll do everything. It'll make it all new. Is it too much to ask? You tell me, Pete.
They want you for Dutch Courtney.
You know better, Pete. I didn't kill Dutch.
Well, you had a reason.
Did I? I forget.
He hung a frame on you, Gus. 5 years worth, remember?
I didn't kill Dutch. Get me a drink, boy.
No, not tonight.
Don't preach at me. Just something to help me on.
Oh, yeah, now come in out of the fog, Gus. You're going to get a drink or a train ticket for me. Take your pick, because it's the last time around.
Just listen to that. Bessie's still going strong, ain't she?
Yeah, and so are the cops. I got one idea for you, Gus. Get moving.
You remember Chicago, Petey? You and Madge? Chicago always liked me.
You checked out, Gus. Biderbeck's got your chair.
They'll remember me and you, Petey. I found you when you were nothing.
What are you going to do? Where are you going?
I got it all set up. It's big and brand new. A place in Mexico.
Yeah?
The guy who bunked in my cell with me, his mother runs a place down there. It'll be just like it used to be.
Well, you won't get there on a gin bottle.
I got it set up, boy. A car and some money. It's not much to ask. You haven't got a drink, have you?
You can drink in Mexico. Where are you dreaming up the car and the dough?
It's fixed, boy. You just see this guy and tell him I'm ready. Abe Gaffney. He's got a place on Pershing Road. You know it?
Yeah, I know it. Abe's doing all this?
Just tell him I'm ready. How's Madge?
She's all right.
Come and see me, huh? It's hot down in Mexico.
Gets hot here.
What's the matter, Pete? You ain't sore, are you?
No, I ain't sore. I'm just tired. I'll tell Gaffney, and then I'm checking out. Goodbye, Gus.
You're not getting too big for your old friends, are you, boy?
Friends are like everything else, Gus.
Yeah?
They wear out on you. Wasn't any different than a dozen times before. I knew there wasn't very much left, but I wasn't looking for a second-rate ghost with an empty gin bottle. Well, I crossed the river to the Missouri side, headed down Main Street, and then I swung over toward Abe Gaffney's place on Pershing Road. It was pushing close to 5:30 a.m. Sun wasn't up yet. and the night was too tired to care. I pulled up in front of the Murad sign out in front of Gaffney's. Inside, a counterman with pimples and coffee was leaning on last night's paper. A beaded curtain shut off the hallway that led back to Gaffney's room.
You want something?
Yeah, Gaffney.
Not here.
Where do I find him?
I don't know.
I was supposed to meet him here.
That's so?
Look, this is Gaffney's place. Where is he?
I told you.
Now, listen, Junior. Maybe you think you do a good imitation of Calvin Coolidge, but I want an answer. Where's Gaffney?
What's your name?
Kelly.
You could have saved an argument this way. Through the curtain.
When do you go to bed, Kelly?
Yeah. You still looking, Newman?
Still asking. Where's Guts?
I don't think you'd give me time to answer.
There's a good reason why I let you walk away tonight. I gave you 2 hours all by yourself on the Kansas side. I don't think you threw him away. You got a line on Gus Trudeau, and I want it.
I got nothing for you.
Don't be silly, Pete. The cops get him or I do. He goes either way.
You get no help from me.
I don't want help. I want Gus. Now, come on! Come on! Come on, or I'll make you part of the wallpaper.
You better send for Dave.
I don't need it.
I think you do. Now, don't bother to get up. I'm leaving.
I don't believe it. Wasn't your turn, Kelly.
When I got up off the floor, the room was cold and the lights were out. Newman was gone, but I knew he was still in business. I knew if he didn't find Gus Trudeau this trip, he'd come back for me. Well, I got into Red's car and followed the radiator camp back to 417. I found Offie back at the stand eating breakfast.
Did you bring an egg, Petey? Kitchen's closed down.
Newman been back here?
I haven't noticed. You look abused.
Yeah. Did anybody say anything?
Who missed? You heard the news?
What's that?
They found the guy who got Dutch Courtney. A fellow by the name of Doyle, East St. Louis. Cops got the goods on it. Gun, fingerprints, the works.
What was his beef with Dutch?
Doyle owned East St. Louis. Dutch wouldn't believe it.
I'll leave it to Gus. If there's a hole, he'll fall in it.
Makes it easier, doesn't it? Newman will call his boys off now.
Somebody better tell him in a hurry.
Did you see Gus?
Yeah, I saw him. He's trying to get out of town.
Pete, Kelly?
That's right.
Dave Gaffney, Pete.
Well, you're a hard man to find.
Newman came in the front door. I went out the back. This won't take long. Car keys and money for Gus.
Well, you got the wrong guy, Abe. I quit an hour ago.
Fight it out with yourself. Car's out in the alley. Gray Chandler. Tell Gus it's low on gas.
No, wait a minute. You can take this stuff to Gus. You know where he is.
No, thanks. You take care of Gus. He's an old friend.
What's the matter with you?
I hardly know him.
The clock over the bar said 6:15. We got back on the stand and started the last set. 80 pounds of stale cigarette smoke was holding up the ceiling, waving down in a dirty blue curtain over the dance floor. Behind the bar, one of the guys was wiping up. 2 couples picked their way to the dance floor, pushed each other around a while, and finally gave up. Oh, the whole thing, it was all out of step. Wrinkled stockings, brown gardenias, torn paper hats, and Gus Trudeau. He walked in the door and stood off to one side, just back of the stand.
Hey, Pete. Gus got here. He's safe now.
Don't make book on it. All right, last one. The blues in B flat. that's it. Same call tonight, 10 o'clock. You can pack up.
Petey, over here. I heard you. You sound good, Pete. Just what I told him up there. You're on your way, boy.
All right, now you heard it, Gus. Here's the money. And the car keys. I'll see you, Gus.
You know what I told him? Another Gus Trudeau's blown down to Kansas City.
Yeah.
All right, boy. I believe it.
Happy New Year, Gus.
Hi, Madge.
Hold it there, Pete. It's a family fight. Stay out.
I thought I took that gun away from you.
What's the matter, Madge? What are you doing?
Don't tell me that talk, Gus. Dutch can't hear you.
What do you mean, Madge?
You killed him. You blew your top and killed him just like you did everything else for me. You and that gin and that cheap brass horn of yours. You sped us all, Pete and me. You ran through the whole bunch till you got to Dutch.
Hey, I didn't do anything.
You killed Dutch Courtney. I loved him. I loved him enough to square it.
You got it wrong, Madge.
Goodbye, Gus. I'll tell him to throw your horn in after you.
Read the paper, Madge. You killed the wrong brother.
Stay away, Pete.
It's in the paper, Madge. A guy by the name of Doyle. He killed Dutch.
They're not sure. Are they?
They're sure.
What'll I do?
I got two things for you, Madge. And the car keys. Now, you see what you can do with 10 minutes start.
You didn't have anything more for Gus, did you, Pete?
No, I guess not.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. Gus finally got out of town.
Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Jim Moser, music by Dick Cathcart, scoring by Matty Matlock. Pete Kelly's Blues is based on characters created by Richard L. Breen.
Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to juvenile detail. You get a report that a teenage boy has been found in a downtown alley. He's in critical condition. Your job? Check it out.
It was Wednesday, November 16th. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of juvenile detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Powers. My name's Friday. We're on our way into the office, and it was 9:17 p.m. when we got to the second floor of Georgia Street Juvenile. Squad room.
I don't know, Joe.
What?
You see a kid like that, you start wondering.
Yeah.
15 years old, trying to hold up a liquor store. Kind of worries the guy.
What do you mean?
What about your own kids? How are they going to turn out?
Well, most of them turn out okay.
Yeah, you can't help worrying, though.
Well, you're a father.
Maybe you're better off, Joe, not having the worries.
You really believe that?
Well, I guess so.
Well, why don't you stop trying to marry me off?
Oh, say, that reminds me.
Yeah.
You know the Phillips, live down the street from us?
I don't think I do.
They were over for dinner the same night you were.
No.
Last summertime, Faye made fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
I remember the chicken. Go ahead.
You're going to spend Christmas with us, aren't you?
Christmas.
Faye told me to be sure and remind you. It's only a month or so off.
That's soon.
Yeah. Can we count on you?
Yeah, if we're not working.
Swell. I'll let Faye know.
What's this got to do with the Phillips?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got nothing to do with them, Joe. Why are you so darn suspicious?
Which one of them has the sister?
Huh?
Come on, Mr. and Mrs. Which one?
Both of them, for all I know.
Well, which one has a sister who's coming out here for the holidays? Which one?
Mrs. Phillips.
And they're all going to be at your place for Christmas dinner, is that it?
Well, Faye hasn't asked them yet. She wanted to be sure that you...
Mm-hmm.
Okay to ask them?
They're your friends.
You won't regret it, Joe. You know Mrs. Phillips is darn nice looking. Good talker, too. If her sister's anything like
Just
she
do
is.
me one big favor, will you?
What's that?
Christmas is still 5 weeks away. Don't start selling me now.
I wouldn't try to sell you on any girl. You know that.
You bet.
I never even met this one. I was just thinking that sometimes you can kind of sort of judge a person by family and...
Juvenile Friday. Where's that? I see.
Yeah. Found a kid lying in an alley off Sheridan Street. He's hurt pretty bad.
An accident?
Knife in his back. Frank and I drove out to the address where the victim had been found. It was a dark alley that opened onto Sheridan Street in the block between 5th and 6th. An ambulance had been called, and the boy had already been moved to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. 9:42 p.m. We talked to one of the patrol car officers who had discovered the body.
We're only a couple of blocks away. We headed right over.
Where'd you find him?
Yeah, I'll show you. Right here against that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Must have lost a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Knife still in him?
Mm-hmm. Small of the back. Looked like he'd been beat up, too.
You say anything about who did it?
Well, he mumbled something. We couldn't understand him, and then he passed out.
How old would you say he was?
Oh, 15, 16, maybe.
Uh-huh.
He's a good-looking kid, about 5'8", black hair, blue eyes, regular features.
What kind of clothes?
Jeans and a jacket, windbreaker type.
See anybody around who might have done it?
No, not a soul. The street was deserted.
Mm-hmm.
My partner's out looking now. I'll give him a hand.
All right.
Who filed a complaint?
I don't know.
Well, we'll check the board.
I'm afraid that won't help. Well, they don't know either.
While a patrol car officer searched the neighborhood for suspects, Frank and I canvassed the area for the person who had reported the crime. 10:16 p.m. We talked to the patrons in the nearby bar and grill. They denied having any knowledge of the assault. 10:42 p.m. We entered a small tobacco shop on the corner of Sheridan and 8th.
Evening, gents.
How are you, sir?
Hi. What can I do for you?
We're police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Sam Crest here.
Mr. Crest?
Something troubling you fellas?
I'd like to talk to you for a minute, that's all.
Done anything I shouldn't?
No, sir, not as far as we know.
Well, you never can tell, you know. The way they keep making up new laws nowadays, a person can be a criminal without even half trying.
Mm-hmm.
Too many rules. That's what's wrong with this country. Too darn many rules.
Yes, sir.
Ought to be just one.
How's that?
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Golden rule. That ought to be more than sufficient.
Yeah.
Don't work out that way, though. A man could live up to it every day of his life and still wouldn't keep him out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
Golden rule don't say nothing about paying income taxes or taking out licenses or filing Social Security reports. Well, does it?
No, doesn't seem to.
But you're in jail if you don't do them.
Yeah.
Man can live, but the golden rule don't make no difference.
It makes a difference.
Oh, some maybe, but not enough.
Have you been here all evening, Mr. Crest?
Since supper time.
When was that?
6:30. Eat at the drugstore over on Soto Street. Stop serving food at 7.
I see, sir.
What time did you get back to the store, do you remember?
Oh, 5 odd, maybe.
And you've been here ever since?
Sure. You ain't doubt my word.
No, sir.
I tell the truth, you know.
Yes, sir.
May not get all my government forms figured out right, but I'm a truthful man.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody suspicious come in here tonight?
Suspicious?
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid you'll have to explain that. You see, I ain't no policeman. Folks don't look suspicious to me. They just look like folks.
Well, any strangers, then?
Sure, lots of strangers. 8 or 10, maybe.
I see.
Strangers to me, leastways. I don't get acquainted with folks easy. Man comes, buys a pack of cigarettes or some tobacco. Don't make him a friend.
Well, now, sir, most of tonight's customers been in before.
Oh, some of them had, yeah. Some of them hadn't. I don't keep track.
I see.
Did you hear anything out on the street?
Traffic. Folks walking by. You fellas sure ain't very specific.
Well, anything like a fight?
Front of my place?
In the neighborhood.
Well, I didn't hear no fight. Somebody get to mixing it up?
Looks that way.
Oh, yeah, that's the trouble with this world. People always squabbling. Wherever you go, whatever you do, it ends up in squabbling.
Mm.
Who was it?
We don't know yet.
Anybody hurt?
Yes, sir.
Well, probably brung it on himself.
Maybe.
Were there any youngsters hanging around your place tonight, Mr. Crest?
Youngsters?
Teenagers?
Well, if there was, I didn't notice them. Kids, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, I just don't know what we're coming to.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sure. All right.
Good night, sir.
There was one.
How's that?
One young fella. He didn't hang around, though. He was in a big rush.
You know him?
No, I don't think I ever saw him before.
Could you describe him for us?
Oh, just an ordinary kid.
How big was he?
Oh, not big. He come up to about here on me.
Mm-hmm.
Probably don't have his full growth yet.
I see. You recall how he was dressed?
Well, I didn't pay much attention, only in the shop a couple of minutes.
What color was his hair?
Light, reddish, or blondish.
Nice-looking boy?
Oh, no better or worse than most.
What time did you see him?
Must be nearly a couple of hours ago, along about 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
come charging in all out of breath.
Yeah.
Asked if I had a phone. I pointed out the booth over there in the corner.
Go ahead.
Well, there's nothing more to tell. He run over to the booth, made a call. Wasn't on the phone more than a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Then he come out and left the shop.
Anything else you can tell us about him?
I don't think so, no. Except that when he was leaving, he wasn't in a hurry like when he come in. He sort of peered out the door first.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed as though all the steam had gone out of him. He looked back over his shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Doggonest expression on his face.
What do you mean?
Like he was scared to death.
While we're in the tobacco shop, we telephoned Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and talked to Dr. Sebastian. He told us that the victim was in a critical condition and had been moved to General Hospital. He also told us that they'd not been able to identify the boy. We called General and asked to be notified when he was able to talk. 11:31 p.m., Frank and I went back to the office. Homicide was notified. The patrol car officers who had discovered the body reported that they had not found any suspects in the vicinity of the crime. 11:46 p.m., we checked with the crime lab. An examination of the weapon had revealed no useful fingerprints. It was a spring blade knife with an 8-inch blade. 12:02 a.m., Frank and I went off duty, and another team of detectives continued the investigation. The next morning, Thursday, November 17th, 8:12 a.m.
Morning, Joe.
Hi.
Anything new?
No, not so far.
How about missing persons?
Nobody's reported them.
It's funny. You'd think somebody'd be looking for him by now, his folks or somebody.
Yeah, you would.
Mm-hmm. Any coffee and that thing?
Yeah, help yourself.
All right.
Probably cold by now.
Better than nothing.
Did you miss breakfast?
Yeah, I wasn't hungry.
Oh.
Oh, you're right.
Huh?
It's cold.
Yeah.
Say, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
About Christmas.
What about it?
Well, we won't invite Mrs. Phillips' sister if you don't want us to.
Mm-hmm.
No. I got to thinking last night people shouldn't force a guy to get married and raise a family if it's against his best judgment.
Well, who's getting married and raising a family? It's just a Christmas dinner, huh?
Yeah, but you know Faye.
Well, you know me. I got it. Juvenile Friday. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Thank you very much. General Hospital, the boy's coming, too.
Yeah? We talked to him?
Yeah, for a minute or two. We better get a move on.
Oh?
Doc said to hurry. Frank and I drove out to General Hospital. The doctor in charge of the case was waiting for us in the hall outside the patient's room.
Nothing fighting?
Yes, sir. Is it all right to go in?
Don't stay too long.
All right.
You going to be all right, Doc?
It's too soon to tell. If the wound was an inch higher, I could give you an answer.
Yeah?
You'd be dead.
We went on into the room. The shades were drawn, and the victim was in semi-darkness. His eyes were open, but he closed them as soon as he saw us enter.
How you feeling, son? Son?
I'm okay.
I'd like to talk to you for a couple of minutes.
No way of stopping you, is there?
What's your name, son?
What's yours?
Smith, Frank Smith. My partner's Joe Friday.
Cops?
That's right. Well?
Well, what?
How about telling us who you are?
I forgot.
Oh.
You know, amnesia.
Yeah.
How'd you get hurt, kid?
Forgot that, too.
We're trying to help you, son.
Not my fault if I don't remember nothing.
You know you're pretty sick.
Sure.
But it's not amnesia.
You a doc?
No.
And you tell what's wrong with me.
Who knifed you?
Now, what happened?
Come on, what's your name?
Abraham Lincoln. You guys can call me Abe.
All right, we'll find out.
Go ahead.
What were you doing on Sheridan Street last night?
That where I was?
You want him to get away with it?
Who?
The fellow that stuck a shiv in your back?
Now, who'd do a thing like that?
That's what we want you to tell us.
Hey, you know what?
It's
all starting to come back to me.
Tell us about it.
There was this black sedan, see?
Mm-hmm.
Great big job.
Yeah.
I was walking along the street, sedan pulled up beside me, 12 guys jumped out.
Yeah.
Told you it was a big job.
Mm-hmm.
6 of them tried to grab me.
All right, that's enough.
But you want to know what happened? They was all wearing masks.
I said that's enough.
Sure.
Now, you listen to me, son. We're going to find out who you are and who stabbed you.
Sorry I ain't in a position to offer a reward.
You want your face in all the newspapers?
What for? I ain't important.
I said we're going to find out who you are. Well?
Okay, if you want to play detective.
Let's have it.
Tom.
Tom what?
Marcotte.
Where do you live?
Diamond Street.
What number?
Apartment house, corner of Diamond Olympics, second floor in the back.
Now, suppose you tell us what happened last night.
Guy jumped me, that's all I know.
Who was he?
I don't know. I never saw him before.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
What did he look like?
I don't know. It was dark.
Somebody your own age?
Heck no.
How old was he?
30, 35.
Why'd he pick you?
I don't know. Must have thought I had some dough.
You never saw him before.
That's what I said.
How tall was he?
I don't know.
Did you get a look at his face?
Uh-uh.
Can you tell us anything about him?
Nope.
But you know how old he was.
I got a feeling, that's all.
Yeah. Where do you go to school?
Taylor High.
What year?
10th.
Any gangs in your school?
I don't know.
You don't belong to one, do you?
Nope.
You had any kind of trouble lately?
What kind of trouble?
With the other kids at the school.
Didn't you guys get anything straight? I wasn't a kid.
Mm-hmm. Who do you live with, Martha?
My old man.
Where's your mother?
Under a tombstone.
We'll get in touch with your dad.
What for?
He might be worried about you.
Want to bet?
We're unable to get any additional information from the victim. We went back to the office and checked the name Tom Market through R&I. They had nothing on him. 9:47 a.m. Frank and I drove out to the address he'd given us. It was a two-story stucco apartment house, badly in need of repair. We went up the second floor.
Must be this one.
Yeah.
I don't hear anybody. Take it easy, will you? All right. What's all the pounding for?
Market?
Yeah?
We're police officers. Frank Smith, my name's Friday.
Well, what do you want?
Come in for a minute?
If you don't, I'm going to fall flat on my face. Oh, boy. My head's coming apart in shreds.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of tied one on last night.
That's so.
Haven't got an aspirin, have you?
No, sir.
Right not. Can of beer?
No.
That's what I really need. Usually keep a couple in the refrigerator for an emergency like this.
Mm-hmm.
But that kid of mine's been guzzling them again.
Could I talk to you about your son, Mr. Market?
Yeah?
You know he didn't come home last night.
Didn't he?
Nope.
No way of me knowing it. I work nights, drive a hack, don't get home till 4 or 5. He leaves for school before I wake up.
I see.
What'd you pick him up for?
He's not under arrest.
Huh?
He's in the hospital.
Hospital?
That's right. He was stabbed last night.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's going to be all right, ain't he?
They don't know yet.
Oh.
We thought you might be able to help us.
Help you?
Yeah, find out who did it.
You know who your son's friends are?
I don't know nothing about him. We aren't very close.
I see.
Has he been worried lately about anything? Upset?
No more than usual.
How's he doing in school?
Lousy.
Oh.
They always ask me to come down and talk to him. Principal, his teacher.
What do they say about him?
I don't go.
Mm-hmm.
I went a couple of times when he first came to live with me. Didn't do any good.
That's so.
I can't change him. Anything I tell Tom just rubs him the wrong way. So he's on his own.
How long has your son lived with you?
3 years.
How about before that?
He was with his mom.
Yeah.
She divorced me a couple of years after he was born. Took him with her.
Mm-hmm.
When she died, there was nobody else to look after him. He had to come back to me.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to get me a glass of water. Only take a second.
Yeah.
Looks like the kid was right.
Huh?
About his father.
Maybe.
He doesn't seem very upset.
No.
He's got to stop his drinking.
Yeah.
Never used to feel like this when I was younger.
Is that right?
He'd go on a bath for 2-3 days, come out of it and feel okay. Can't take it anymore.
Well, sir, we'll be leaving. If you'd like to see your son, he's at General Hospital.
Tom asked to see me?
He's pretty sick, Market.
You talked to him, didn't you?
That's right.
He asked to see me?
No, he didn't.
Didn't think so. I guess I can't blame him for hating me. He figures I didn't want him after his ma died. Figured I had to take him.
Yeah.
Tried to tell him different. He didn't believe me. We just can't talk, Tom and me.
Mm-hmm.
Father and son living in the same apartment. Like we speak a different language. Think I ought to go down and see him?
Well, that's up to you.
Didn't ask for me. It's funny. Live with somebody who hates you, your own son.
Well, maybe you're wrong about him.
Yeah, see it in his face, his eyes, the way he talks. Every time I look at him, I can see it. Tom's the one who's wrong.
Yeah.
It's not his fault, but he's wrong. You wouldn't believe it on a stack of Bibles. Even you guys don't.
What's that?
That I love him.
Frank and I drove out to the Taylor High School on Grand Avenue. 10:57 a.m. We interviewed the principal, James Wingor. He told us that Tom Market was a poor student and that he was difficult to manage. He also told us that the boy had a good mind and was capable of much better work than he performed. He was unable to throw any light on the knifing and suggested that we talk with the victim's homeroom teacher, Miss Nora Rollins. 11:16 a.m. We interviewed Miss Rollins in a small room which adjoined the principal's office.
I'm supposed to be giving an English examination during this period, Sergeant.
Yes, ma'am. This will only take a couple minutes.
You have a student named Tom Marcotte?
Certainly, he's in my homeroom.
What kind of a boy is he?
Noisy, lazy, impossible to discipline. Similar to a number of the others.
Mm-hmm.
He's absent today, though.
Yes, ma'am, we know.
Something happened to Tom?
He's had an accident.
An accident or a fight?
Why do you say that?
It'll be the first time.
Has he had any fights lately?
Came to school with a cut lip 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Does Tom have any particular enemies?
I really don't know. There are over 75 students in my homeroom. It's a little difficult to know very much about any of them.
Yes, ma'am.
How about friends? Who's he pal around with, do you know?
Nobody in particular, as far as I can tell. No, wait a minute. There's one boy.
Ma'am?
Arthur Jollett.
What does he look like?
Well, he's small, red-haired, almost as troublesome as Tom.
Is he in school today?
I believe so.
Well, ma'am, is there anything else you can tell us about Tom?
No, except that I don't have much hope for him.
How's that?
Well, I've asked his father to come in and see me several times. So far, he's always declined the invitation.
Yeah.
Is Tom badly hurt?
Yes, ma'am, pretty bad.
What was it?
Knife wound.
No. 17 years ago, when I first started teaching, that would have shocked me.
I see.
It was a very naive young lady, Sergeant.
Is that right?
I thought all a person had to do to become a teacher was to take the right courses, get a degree, and a credential.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed such a simple matter. I wanted to teach English literature, so I studied English literature. Shakespeare, Chaucer, Browning, Keats, Shelley.
Yes, ma'am.
As I continue in the profession, I discovered that I omitted one essential course.
What's that?
Judo.
We asked Mr. Wingore if we could interview the student named Arthur Jollett. He asked his secretary to have the boy sent in to us.
Sounds like he's the one who called in the report.
Well,
must have been with Marcotte when it happened, huh?
Come in.
You want to see me?
That's right. Come in, son.
You're Arthur Jollett, huh?
Ain't that who you asked for?
Sit down, son. We're police officers. This is Smith. My name's Friday.
You have a friend named Tom Marcotte?
I know him.
Pretty good friend of yours, is he?
He's a friend.
You been with him lately?
When?
Yesterday, day before?
Sure.
Where?
Here. We've got some of the same subjects.
How about after school?
Uh-huh.
You saw him after school, did you?
Night before last.
Last night, too?
Uh-uh.
Where were you last night?
Movie.
Well, who'd you go with?
Went along.
What movie?
Double bill in Hollywood.
What'd you do afterward?
Hitched a ride home.
Spend any time around Sheridan Street?
Where's that?
You want us to show you?
Huh?
Come on, we'll take you over there.
What for?
I'd like to have you meet a man who runs a tobacco shop in that part of town.
You kidding or something?
Young fella came into his place last night.
So?
The way he described him, it could be you.
You must be blind or something.
Well, let's find out. Come on.
Come on.
Okay, so maybe I was in his neck of the woods. What's the beef?
Your friend Marcotte was around there, too, wasn't he?
Coincidence.
Yeah.
What's the matter with Tom, anyhow?
Why?
He ain't been in school today.
He's in the hospital.
Oh.
Good thing you called us when you did. He might be dead by now.
Who says I called you?
Man who runs the tobacco shop?
How the heck could he tell that? Well, I mean, who I was calling.
All right, Jollett. Give us the whole story now, will you?
What story?
Come on, let's get it over with.
If it's about Tom, ask him.
We're asking you. You want us to take you in?
Of course not.
It's up to you.
Ain't much to tell. Just walking around, Tom and me.
Yeah.
Fellow jumped out from an alley, came at us with a knife.
Go ahead.
Took a swing at Tom. I ducked off.
Yeah.
Called the cops. That's all I know.
Who was it, Jollett?
Your guess is as good as mine.
We don't think so.
Suit yourself.
I thought Tom was a friend of yours.
He is.
Well, we want to know who stabbed him.
What do you expect me to do, dream up a name?
How big was he?
Medium size.
How old?
19, 20.
Tom says he was about 35.
Tom ought to know. He's a lot closer to him.
All right. Let's go down to the juvenile bureau.
Oh, I told you everything I know.
I want to show you some mug shots.
Forget it. I wouldn't recognize his picture.
Let's give it a try anyway.
I'll take it easy, will you?
What's the matter?
I don't want to be seen leaving with you guys.
Is that right?
Wouldn't do my reputation any good.
Who are you afraid of?
I ain't afraid.
The guy who knifed your buddy? Is that who you're afraid of?
Look, if Tom wanted you to know, he'd have told you, wouldn't he? Tom ain't dead.
All right, come on, Jollett. Let's go.
Give me an answer. Is Tom okay or not?
Does that make any difference to you?
Sure, it makes a difference.
It doesn't look like it to us.
I'm no squealer.
All right, you've had your chance. Now you got to go in. Come on.
You can't arrest me.
A boy was stabbed last night. You saw it. As far as we know, you're the only other person who was there. Now you figure it out.
I didn't have nothing to do with it. Tom will tell you so. Throw me in jail, my own man will kill me.
Well, that's tough.
I ain't going to take the rap.
It's up to you.
Okay, it was Jerry.
Jerry who?
Longren.
You go to the school?
Yeah.
What was it all about?
Tom tried to date Jerry's girl. Jerry heard about it. Followed us last night.
I'll get a hold of Longren.
All right.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jerry finds out I squealed on him, he'll do even worse to me. He ain't going to find out, is he?
We won't tell him.
If it tumbles, you can start sending flowers. Jerry's the big man around school.
Yeah.
Or 6 foot, lots of muscle, lots of shove.
Well, that doesn't make him a big man, does it?
Huh?
He needs a knife.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 2nd, a hearing was held in Juvenile Department, Superior Court, State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Petitions were filed on both the victim and the subject. The victim, Thomas Marcotte, was placed under 24-hour supervision in a foster home. The subject, Jerome Longren, due to a previous juvenile record and the viciousness of the attack, was sentenced to a juvenile correctional establishment.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
My name's Regan. I get 10 a day in expenses from a detective bureau run by a guy named Anthony J. Lyon. They call me the Lion's Eye.
With Jack Webb as Jeff Regan, the Lion's Eye, stand by for hard-boiled action and mystery and thrilling adventure in tonight's story of the guy from Gower Gulch.
It's a gray building, about the color of moldy bread. It's an apartment house in the middle of Hollywood, and it figures that the guy who built it quit voting when they named the street it sits on, Taft Avenue. My place is furnished with war surplus from the Spanish-American War. Well, it's got a hat rack, and that's where I live, number 308. In back, where you get a view and some fresh air from the alley. One's about as bad as the other. But I got it fixed up kind of nice. Hot plate, coffee pot, an autographed picture of Sally Rand that somebody left there. Only mistake I made was putting in a telephone. It spoils a lot of things.
Regan, Mr. Lyon, wake up. We got a job.
Why don't you sleep at night?
Lucky for you, I got insomnia. We go broke.
Try Ovaltine. What kind of a job?
How should I know? Get your clothes on.
What are you doing, reading the want ads?
I got a note from a client.
You mean you got money?
$100 is all. Says he'll match it if we run him an errand.
Where to? Santa Ana Canyon?
He'll tell you.
You know, if you got morals like a cash register, can he write his name?
Davy Crockett. He's 50 years old.
Well, he's a little old for cowboys and Indians, isn't he?
That's his name, Davy Crockett.
Well, when's the wagon train pull out?
Regan, I don't know how I stand for you. Get over there.
Get where?
Listen, a guy works pretty hard. Building up a business like I have takes a lot out of him.
And you got plenty on tap.
I just want you to understand, that's all. Money doesn't grow on trees. Now, sometimes you gotta play your hunches.
Like George Gallup.
This time I got a feeling the guy's okay. He writes like a gentleman, Regan. I want you to treat him like one.
Well, where do I find him?
He's in a location can give us a lot of business.
Where?
The city jail.
Yeah, that's the Lion. Born under the sign of the dollar. Well, it happened on Monday night, and I found the Lincoln Heights jail looking real tired after a rough weekend. They were putting fresh creosote on the walls in front of the drunk tank, and the guy at the desk looked like he'd burst his radiator if anybody phoned for another reservation. It was about 1 a.m., but after a couple of jokes I know about alligators, Sergeant Gonzalez hauled out a drawer with some cards in it. Under C, he found it. Full name, David Crockett, cell 273, solitary. Gonzalez walked me through a couple of corridors, and then he opened his cell and let me inside. Davy Crockett was there, awake and standing up. He was about 4 feet high, skinny, with a head like a sunburned turnip. He had blue veins roaming all over his nose and a handlebar mustache to hold him up. He looked at me like I was holding the fifth ace.
Howdy, stranger.
My name's Regan, International Detective Bureau.
How do I know? Start anything and I'll set up a racket.
Now, I work for the Lion. You called him.
Maybe yes, maybe no. You got credentials?
Where do you want him?
Easy, son. Not talking to an amateur. Flyweight champion, Buenos Aires, 29. Grab yourself a squat, partner.
All right. What are you so nervous about?
Nothing. Precautious, that's all.
All right, look, let's start at the beginning, shall we? What are you locked up for?
Fire plug. Got him in the dangest places in this burg.
What'd you do, steal it for your dog?
No. Parked my landlady's car alongside it while I ran an errand.
You don't get jugged for traffic tickets.
There were 2 cops. Looked like a posse. I don't like injustice.
All right, resisting arrest, is that all?
What more do you want? Told you I'm not a man to be trampled with. Taught judo in Tokyo, 34.
The Japs still lost the war.
Sit still, Regan. You're working.
On what?
Well, it's just another errand. It's not much.
Well, come on, let's pick up the tempo, will you? My bicycle's double parked.
Say, you ever get saddle sores on a bicycle? I did once. 8-day race.
Yeah, I know. Now, what about this errand?
Little package wrapped up in a sweater. In the alley by the ash can.
Go on.
I calculate I dropped it about 3.5 feet to the left of the big ash can.
By accident?
Man can't fight with his hands full. I wrote down the address for you here.
All right. What's in that sweater you didn't want the cops to see?
A polecat.
That fits the rest of your story, yeah.
Son, there's nothing in the life of Davy Crockett won't stand inspection. When you get the package, check it in at the Union Station.
And then what?
Save me the stub. You get 100.
Save it for bail. You could do this job yourself.
That's what I told you, Sonny. I'd like to be lonesome.
So you had him lock you up on purpose?
No, I just like it here. You want a reference? Check any of the boys in Gower Gulch.
Movie cowboy, huh?
Laddie, you're looking at the greatest jockey since Paul Revere. Eddie Sands to Eddie Arcaro. I beat them all. Kentucky Downs, 39.
Yeah, sure. Well, a job's a job, Davy, but I got a hot tip where I fit in.
Where's that?
Trailing the field. Well, I left the little man running his fingers through an old copy of Variety, and I went out into the street. It was about 3 o'clock, and a truck was throwing some water out and giving the gutter a shampoo. I picked up my car and started out to play retriever. That's when I spotted the blonde tailing me. She was using a 37 Packard, and the top was down. I could see her in the mirror. I could tell she had yellow hair like a rag doll. It took a few fast turns to get rid of her, but then I was solo when I pulled to a stop by the alley off Gower. It was in back of some old movie studios. About then, a drunk came pouring down the street, did a loop around a fire plug at the head of the alley, and sat down. He was the talented kind, and I figured he thought I was Arthur Godfrey. Well, I scrambled over some broken beer bottles looking for the sweater. It finally showed, lying beside a pack of newspaper and some dame's torn petticoat. That's when the drunk lost his tilt and began looking at me. I picked up an old shoe, I wrapped it in a newspaper, and I started out of the alley. The drunk went back to his audition, moving toward me.
Marie, the dawn is breaking. Marie, you'll soon be waking. Hiya, friend. Have a drink.
That's not my brand.
Don't be a mug. A little drink between friends is real nice.
We haven't been introduced.
My name's Maxwell. What's yours?
Slipped my mind.
That's the trouble with the whole world. No fellowship. Except for my girl, Marie. You know Marie?
No, I don't.
Sort of short and plump with a little sinus trouble.
It's too bad.
Thought you might have met her. Lots of fellowship in that girl. Every time you look, another fella.
All right, move it, buddy.
Now, you don't want to get by me, friends. You want to stand right there and have a little drink.
You got the subject we're going to talk about?
Yeah, sure. Here, what's in the package?
Dirty laundry.
Ain't that funny, though? I just got me a new Bendix.
Why don't you go into business?
That's what I'm going to do. You're my first customer.
No, I lux my dainties.
Yeah, don't go away, friend. I ain't through with my sales talk.
Well, hire a skywriter.
Hold up, I said.
Get your hands off of me.
All right, Regan, the round's over.
Yeah, what makes you the referee?
This does.
Friend here wants to play rough, Red.
Reconsider, Regan. It'll make you happy.
All right, what do you want?
The package.
You heard what he said, smart guy.
Why don't you work for it?
Have him, Max. Don't leave, Regan. We're not finished.
I got the package, Red.
Give him a tip for picking it up.
Sure. Guess I overpaid him.
Well, it was easy to see it was their play. I had about as much chance as a midget in a basketball game. The muscles ambled off with the package that they took from me, and I crawled back for that sweater. It was still there, wrapped around something hard and round. And when I ripped it off, a shine caught my eye. It was a metal can of movie film, and the word Peru was marked on it. Not much for all the hush-hush, but it must have had a story. Well, I looked up a friend of mine who owned a camera shop, and I made a commotion with a $5 bill. That shook the sand out of him, and he rented me a projector with sound. The Lion's house was the next stop. We threw up a sheet on the wall and turned on the film. That completed the night. We had a trip to a good neighbor without a passport. Turned out to be a Joan Fitzpatrick giving us some kind of a travelogue.
The most colorful in the world. A temple of worship. Home of Peru, 2,000 years old. Perfect in a movie.
Well, stop screaming, will you? It's free.
You know I can't stand movies. I got sore eyes.
All right, shut up and listen to this.
New Peru. The marketplace. A street vendor dressed in gay native costume, selling delicacies to Peruvian children. Beads and jewels of exquisite beauty wrought by the hands of master Peruvian artisans. Horse racing and innovations from the modern world. And native dance.
I'm going to bed.
You won't sleep. I stole your eye shade.
Oh, Regan, I got to get up early. I got lots to do.
It'll keep.
A veritable symphony of motion. And so, it's with heavy heart we say adieu to lovely Peru, land of the Peruvians, land of charm and enchantment. And with the setting sun, we take our leave.
Well, what'd you get out of it?
A headache.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the morning.
No, I can't wait.
What you doing now?
I'm phoning the city jail.
Looking for a room?
Looking for information. Davey will supply it.
You've been drinking.
Now listen, big shot. Somebody's after this film for some reason. I'm going to find it.
City jail, Sergeant Gonzalez speaking.
Danny's Regan.
Oh, hiya, Regan. I'm glad you called. I just got that joke about the alligators.
Now, well, do me a favor, will you?
Sure, pal, sure. See, I told it to the lieutenant. He's still laughing. You know, it may earn me a promotion, pal.
Let me talk to Davy Crockett.
Oh, I can't do that, Regan.
Well, you can say I'm his lawyer.
Well, it's not that, pal. He's not here anymore.
What do you mean?
Some guy bailed him out 20 minutes ago. When I was telling the lieutenant the joke, this guy in the briefcase comes in, slaps down the bail. Out walks your friend.
Well, he said he liked it there.
And Davey must have changed his mind.
Where'd he go?
Not very far. Just over to the morgue.
Well, the cowboy from Gower Gulch had spun his last yarn. Gonzalez told me that somebody had shot Crockett as soon as he hit the street. Oh, none of this made sense. The phony job, the blonde who tails me, the fight in the alley, the corny movie. Now, the lion shoved the film in a desk, and I went out the door. I cut across his yard, but I stopped on the opposite sidewalk. My car wasn't alone. There was a 40-foot nag sniffing at its rear fender.
Hey, Regan.
Well, Maxwell.
That's me.
You look different. Did you take the cure?
Shut up. Somebody wants to see you.
If it's Marie, tell her my book's full.
Thought you might like a lift.
No, I got a friend who runs a streetcar. Now, go on, beat it.
Regan, don't be that way.
Prima Panatella, Maxwell.
Who's this, your father-in-law?
You smoke, Regan?
No, it might explode.
Yeah.
So long.
Hold it, Dusty. Get in. Oh, Max.
Max, I told you before, you're on probation.
That's all right. Don't pick on him, teacher. He didn't hurt me.
Get in front, Max.
Sure. Where's your other boy, Red? We could play some bridge.
I thought he'd do better in the shoe business.
The one I gave him didn't fit, huh?
I'm a much misunderstood man, Mr. Regan. I'm sure you'll put your best foot forward.
I'd love to.
My card, Horace Grundy. Sometime earlier, a little man called me, Mr. Regan. Custer or Boone or...
Davy Crockett?
Of course. I want you to understand I get many such calls.
Party line.
It's a private number, but the salesmen bother me anyway.
Well, it's tough to be popular. Davy tell you what he was selling?
No.
Well, he didn't tell me either.
Have it your own way. When I told him I'd meet him, he said he'd arranged to get out of jail. He said all he wanted was a job.
And he got one.
Yes, only there's no future to it. I wouldn't want anything like that happening to you, Mr. Regan.
I'll renew my insurance.
Oh, no, you'll come with me. It's more friendly.
Suppose I don't like to talk.
You won't have to, if everything goes all right.
Oh, it's your taxi.
And you're paying the fare. All right, Maxwell. Cloverfield.
I never knew a guy could say the name of an airport and make it sound like Forest Lawn. Grundy sat in the corner checking the manicure on his fingernails, and Maxwell drove out Olympic. By the time we skidded into Clover, I figured absolutely nothing. It was still only 4 a.m., but there was a string of cars parked in the lot. I spotted a 37 Packard Roadster, but I was too busy getting rushed up onto the field to look for the blonde. Besides, the faster we ran, the more excited Grundy got. And then we rounded a hangar, and the reporters hit us.
Say, Louis B's pretty sore, huh?
No. Louis B. and I are friends. Just his plugs are burned. Put it through, boys.
Hey, wait a second. This Julio who's traveling on the plane. They say he wants $250,000. You're going to pay him today?
After I see a workout. Come on, Regan, let's go.
Yeah, you're a real big man, Grundy.
I'm going to be, Regan. El Romano. Best rep of any horse in South America.
So that's it, huh? Where the ruins come from.
What's that?
Peru?
Oh, sure. Peruvian National Airways gave Julio a special plane. Everything special.
Like in the movies. Well, look, suppose you watch him unload. I'll take a back seat here.
Oh, no, Regan. This is a big day. I want you to see what's the ambulance for.
Well, don't look at me.
Stick around, Regan. It could be you.
Hey, get that stretcher over there. Oh, he kicked me, hit me.
Julio.
That the guy who owns him?
Must be.
I tried to hold him. The halter break home my rib. Take it easy, boy. We got you.
What happened?
Bounce. The landing she is rough, that is all. Where is the doctor? We're going to the hospital. Lie down. I'm broken in 6 places. Lift up the stretcher. Come on, boys. Hurry it up. Oh, he kicked me. Move fast, boys. Yes, hot. Hey, Mr. Grundy, the horse.
Well, the guy on the plane started to yell just about the time they took Julio toward the rear of the ambulance. Grundy took a dive for the cargo door, and so did everybody else. Then I had to stand there while 6 feet of Big Shot cigar turned into a crybaby.
Look, Regan. Look at the horse's leg. He's kicked himself.
Okay, so he's clumsy.
But he might not run again. He was going to be mine, Regan.
That's too bad. Call a vet.
I have already paid $50,000 retainer on the horse, Regan.
I'll send you a lawyer.
I got an idea you're connected with this.
Oh, dry up, Buster. It's an accident.
Yeah? I got an idea there's going to be another accident.
Grundy, maybe you're right.
Go!
Hey, stop him!
I didn't wait to see if he went down. Maxwell swung, but I took off through the crowd. It figured that Cloverfield wasn't for me, and I wasn't going to stick around for the daisies. And then I spotted a ride, the rear end of Julio's ambulance. I made it just as the buggy started to move. I pulled the door shut and tried not to step on that stretcher inside. I shouldn't even have bothered that. The stretcher was empty. The only patient was me.
You are listening to the story of the guy from Gower Gulch. Tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. Commissions are still available in the Army Nurse Corps Reserve. Graduate registered nurses between the ages of 21 and 45 may qualify for service with this fine organization. If you are interested in joining the Army Nurse Corps and believe that you qualify for a commission, apply to the Adjutant General, Washington, D.C. And now, back to Jeff Regan, Investigator, and the story of the guy from Gower Gulch.
Well,
things were beginning to move like a hula dancer with a hot foot, Davy Crockett sent me out to pick up a roll of movie film. A Joan Fitzpatrick travelogue on beautiful Peru. There was something in it that was hot, but Crockett got himself plugged before he could say what it was. There were shots of a horse race in Peru. And when a big buster named Grundy turns up buying a nag from a Peruvian breeder, I figured a connection. So did Grundy. When the horse got hurt and Julio did a disappearing act with his money, everybody looked at me. That's when I took the shortest way to Hollywood in an ambulance, got in my car, and made it for home. Only parked up the street from my apartment was that same 37 Packard Roadster I'd been dodging all evening. The blonde wasn't in it. She was sitting in my place looking real hopeful.
Good evening. You keep late hours, Mr. Regan.
That's the kind of friends I've got.
Perhaps you ought to change them.
I'll stick it out. What do you want?
A little chance to talk to you.
It'll keep till morning.
Oh, but Mr. Regan, I've been waiting so long, you've got to talk to me now.
Why?
I'm Davy Crockett's wife. You've got something that belongs to me.
I don't see any wedding ring.
I don't wear one.
Scare off the other boys?
That's not a very nice remark, Mr. Regan.
No, but you'll let it go.
Only because it's not important.
Oh, stop it. You're not Davy's wife. If the little guy had anybody he could trust, he wouldn't have had to call him a lion.
All right, Mr. Regan. I lied.
Now, let's have it, lady. What are you after?
The roll of film.
That figures.
It's mine.
Convince me.
Mr. Regan, you're becoming very annoying.
Well, why don't you call the police?
But I tell you, it is mine.
Let's see the pink slip.
And so it is with heavy heart we bid adieu
That's
to...
enough. Yeah. I thought I knew that voice.
Davy stole the roll from my library. Now may I have it back?
Homicide will turn it over to you when they're ready.
I can't wait.
Well, what makes it so valuable?
I'm not sure.
Then how do you know it is?
Because I'm not stupid, Mr. Regan. Somebody goes to a lot of trouble to break into my film library. But he only steals one roll of film.
Go on.
I put the police on Davy, follow them to the jail. So you go after the film. That adds up to pretty important business.
Did you push those holes in Davy?
Of course not.
Yeah, you're going to get a chance to prove that when Homicide starts speaking in your cupboard.
About the film, I'll buy it from you.
No sale. There's the door, lady. Use it. I threw the light switch and grabbed for the floor. When the noise stopped, I looked up. My landlady was going to be mad. The shots plowed a few holes into her flower pot. The blonde turned a couple of different colors and decided she could find safer company. She left for the fire escape without even goodbye. Well, I headed for the Lions. The idea being to make sure that he'd turn that film over to the police and advertise that I didn't have it anymore. That figured to cool me off and I could catch some sleep again. When I got there, the Lion looked kind of excited. He was wrapped up in a silk robe with red and gray stripes, and he carried a drink to match. He was holding a piece of that movie film up to the light.
Hey, Regan, I've been calling all over for you. Where you been?
I'm looking for a bed.
I don't pay you to sleep. You're on a job. Now, I've been thinking since you left. We're handling this wrong.
Yeah, now that's what I figured. Get on the phone.
What for?
To tell Homicide you got a package for him. You're turning over that film right now.
Easy.
You heard me, Big Shot. I'm tired of playing the fall guy.
Now, Regan, you don't know what you're saying. I've been running over the section on that Peruvian horse race. And you know what?
You picked the winner.
And we're going to collect.
Who's making books?
The insurance company.
Now, come on, clear it up.
Look at this clip.
Yeah.
Well, what do you see? What do you see?
Looks like a horse.
But look at him. He's way out in front. El Romano.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, here's the way I add it up. This film tells a story, or everybody wouldn't be grubbing around for it.
Well, now, that takes a big brain.
So somebody's engineering a phony.
Who?
That's what you're going to find out. But I'll tell you one thing. That nag's insured by Banner Trust, and they pay off big if we can turn up the swindle.
All right. Give me that picture.
Where you going?
Over to Grundy's to check the horse.
Now you're talking, Regan. You dig that out and we'll be eating squab.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you'll be collecting your unemployment insurance.
Yeah, well, payoff's about the same. I didn't like it any better than a fan dancer like the wind tunnel. I'd already seen enough of Grundy and his boys for one night, but when the Lion gets an idea, he's like a hangman with a new rope. So I went out to test it. I found Horace Grundy's place. It was a bright new house in the San Fernando Valley. There was some fancy fence in back, and a stable looked like the paint was still wet where it said El Romano. A trailer was parked on the road with a truck from the veterinarians. When Grundy opened the front door, it looked like he'd been sitting a 3-day wake, but without any beer.
Hello, Regan.
Well, what's the verdict?
It's bad, Regan. Bad. Tendons torn. Never run. Never.
Yeah, you said that.
I can't believe it.
Uh-huh. I knew somebody else liked animals. A guy from Gower Gulch.
Decided to talk?
Maybe. If you keep your hands in the audience.
What else did Crockett say?
Now you got him on the wheel.
All right, you drive.
That's better. You know the horse is insured?
Not by me, it isn't.
You don't own it. You just paid a deposit.
Sure, 50 G's.
You got it back yet?
There's plenty of time. Julio's in the hospital.
Oh? Well, now, if it wasn't for the accident, you would have coughed up another $200,000.
Yes. No. Oh, what difference does it make? The whole deal's a bust now.
Well, that horse is a phony.
Say some more, Regan.
I don't know much more. Davy Crockett was a movie fan.
You're doing fine. You had pictures?
I wouldn't advertise them, but there's a shot of a horse winning a race. Take a look here.
Give me that.
It's economy size. You're going to ruin your eyesight.
I got a magnifying glass for my income tax.
Now, let's get a light behind it. Now, let's see.
Horse.
You get a star.
4 white feet.
I can do that well myself.
Listen, Regan. Horse in the stable's got 3.
That does it. My boss gets promoted.
Come on outside. I'll show you.
I'll take your word for it. Let go of me. I got my information.
Maxwell, where are you?
I told you, don't whistle the bulldogs.
You're in it now, Regan. You're on my side.
I drop your blood pressure. There's a handkerchief on the plate.
Hey, wait. Hello. I look for somebody. Good morning.
Pan America.
See, I'm Julio. Is Mr. Grundy?
It's the guy with his mouth open there.
How do you do? I'm so glad to meet and
talk. Shogun.
Okay?
You switch horses.
No, you'll not understand. El Romano, he kicked me.
Wait for the encore.
Mr. Grundy, with belief, I'm telling you.
Now, look, you better make it fast, Julio. This guy goes
Shut
off.
Shut up, Regan. A man trades a stretcher for a slab. Let him talk.
The hospital. I did not go. Julio is honest. A debt comes first.
The interest's going up.
When El Romano hurts himself, I know the deal is off. I know I must see the consul, so we cash the check.
What?
Here we are. 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50. Your down payment is up. Now we are one big happy United Nations, no?
Well, that's what happened. Now there were 2 guys with their mouths open. By the time we got them closed, the little gent from Peru had waddled off someplace, and Grundy folded his money and started to laugh. He was happy, and at least I had what I came for. Figured I could dump the whole plate of spaghetti on the lion. The lead horse in the travelogue was a different nag from the one in the stable. So I got in my car and headed for home. But I picked up a newspaper on the corner, and then the whole bucket turned upside down again. The green sheet was loaded with publicity shots of El Romano from South America, and he was exactly the same oat burner that came in on the plane, feet and all. No switch there. Well, if there was something phony in this act, it was that winner in that Fitzpatrick film. Well, for a minute I felt like a test pilot in a yo-yo factory, and then the string broke. I took a fast run to the Lions and one more look at those movies. I had it. The case was beginning to wind. 10 minutes later, I was back on Gower Gulch.
Yes? Who is it?
Regan, you alone?
Don't be insulting.
I'll open the door. What's the matter? You're slow.
What do you want?
Ask me in.
No.
Ask me in.
Regan, look out!
Be careful, Regan. I have a gun.
Well, Julio.
Yes, Julio.
Uh-huh. What are you doing here?
Well, I told you.
I know. Back at my place, you're aiming at her, not me. She's been to Peru. She has the films. You knew that.
You whistle like I know it.
I go to the movies like everybody else. I keep my eyes on the winner. After Hollywood Park, I should have known better.
Yeah, there are lots of races.
El Romano was a dud. He came in last. 60 lengths with Davy Crockett digging in the spurs. You gave the nag a build-up, phony publicity to sucker an insurance company.
$250,000, I was over.
Can it? You could have never closed a sale without Grundy watching a workout. That would have been a slow boat to China.
You want to be a sailor, too?
Oh, stop being tough, will you? You wore yourself out when you kicked up El Romano in that plane.
It looked good.
Yeah, not to me or Joan.
Look out, Regan. You're asking for a daily double.
Well, I'm going to take it across the board. Give me that gun.
Leave me
Stop
alone.
it.
No, you're breaking my arm.
That's the idea.
I'll kick you in the stomach.
You better go back to his stretcher.
Well,
Yeah.
you can be useful.
Well, when I'm working.
What about after hours? I'm not bad, you know.
No, I never noticed.
Look again.
No, I'm all through with the ponies.
Want to bet?
Davy Crockett told me to play my hunches.
Here I am.
Yeah, but you're a loser.
What do you mean?
You threw those holes into Davy.
It was Julio.
Oh, you're trying real hard, but he was on the plane.
What do I do now?
Well, you might bid a fond adieu to Gower Gulch.
That's not funny, Regan.
I know it. But you ran out of film. Well, the whole thing blew up like a hoop skirt in a high wind. Julio had a real good thing until he ran into the little man with a good memory and a dame with a fast trigger finger. Her blackmail pitch was already set up, but Davy figured to queer it, so she had to knock him off. Well, the hospital boys came after Julio, and homicide dated Joan, the travel queen. The Lion was pretty excited about the way things worked out. He figured that the insurance company would come across with some green stuff for exposing a fraud. They did. That was the color of the season pass they gave him to the Burton Holmes travel lectures.
Jack Webb is featured as Jeff Regan with Herb Butterfield as Anthony J. Lyon. It's CBS at the same time next week for more hard-boiled action and mystery with Jeff Regan, Investigator. Written by Larry Roman and Jackson Gillett, produced by Sterling Tracy. Included in tonight's cast were Leo Clary, Clayton Post, Yvonne Patey, Ed Begley, and Herb Ellis. 29,000 nurses are needed to join the new Army Nurse Corps Officers Reserve. For the first time in history, qualified nurses have the opportunity of receiving commissions in the regular Army Reserve. These nurses will remain on inactive status, ready to serve their country in time of emergency. 4,000 of them, if they wish, may choose active duty. All nurses who receive commissions will benefit from the opportunity for specialized training offered to them by the Army. Inactive reserve status will not interfere with the nurse's civilian life, but the educational opportunities offered her by the Army Medical Department will be of a great advantage in her work. Don't wait. If you're a registered graduate nurse between the ages of 21 and 45, drop a card for complete information to the Adjutant General, Washington, D.C. Original music for this program is by Milton Charles, Bob Stevenson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. A gunman has robbed a bank in your city. From his method of operation, you know he's dangerous. Your job? Get him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, May 4th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. My name's Friday. It was 12:36 p.m. when I got the call, and it took me 8 minutes to get back to the city hall. Robbery squad room.
Back here, Joe?
Yeah.
Back here.
What's up?
Oh, bank job and slugging. We got a rule on.
Where?
Corner Melrose and Fountain.
Anybody else on it?
Yeah. J.J. and Murph went out.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Friday, Smith?
Yeah, Lieutenant.
You two going to cover the bank holdup?
Yeah, we're just leaving.
Donald called in. He's out with J.J. and Murph. They got it covered out there. Skipper wants you to tag Georgia Street and talk to the guard. See if you can get any information out of him.
All right. What's the name?
I haven't got it. There's a uniformed man with him. Old guy's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
When the thief left the bank, the guard tried to stop him. Old man pulled a gun, misfired, pistol whipped the old guard. He's in critical condition. We just got word that you can talk to him if you get right over there. Better make it fast.
All right.
And good luck.
Yeah.
We got to come up with an identification. We got to get it in a hurry. The guy's still running. Matter of time before somebody gets in his way.
Yeah.
We can't count on it next time. The gun jamming.
12:47 p.m. Frank and I left the city hall and drove over to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. It took us 5.5 minutes traveling code 3. We went up to the 3rd floor and met the officer who'd been with the guard.
You fellas from Central?
Yeah, Friday and Smith.
I want to see the victim. You missed him.
What do you mean?
He died 5 minutes ago.
We checked with the doctor in attendance and found that the victim had said nothing to aid in identifying the suspect. We returned to the office. A local broadcast on an APB had been gotten out on the man carrying his description. The crew from the crime lab had gone over the premises of the bank without gaining any new information. The clerks and tellers had been brought to the city hall to check the mug books. Everything possible was being done to apprehend the bank guard's killer, but without being able to identify him, the job was almost impossible. At 2:48 p.m., we got a call from Captain Donahoe.
That's right, Skipper. Mm-hmm. No, they're in the mug room now. No, not yet. Wait a minute. Joe, you want to toss me that pad there?
Yeah.
Here you go, Skipper. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I see. I got it. No, we'll check right away. Yeah, as soon as we find out. Yes, sir. All right, goodbye.
What do you got?
I checked around the neighborhood, found a newsboy, and saw the suspect leave the bank.
Yeah.
Kid got the license number.
An immediate check was made with the Department of Motor Vehicles and with our vehicle records. It took us 2 minutes to get the information. Yeah, we figured it'd turn out that way. Hey, want to give me the address? All right. Okay, we'll run it out.
How about it?
Car was stolen a week ago. A team of men went out to talk to the owner of the automobile. Additional broadcasts were gotten out on the stolen car carrying the license number, the make, and model description. In the event the car was found abandoned, it was to be staked out, and we were to be notified. Roadblocks were set up in the area adjacent to the bank, and all vehicles were checked. Captain Donahoe came in from the scene, and a meeting was held between him and Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. At the time, 25 officers from Robbery Division were trying to find a lead to identify the thief. We knew what he looked like, what kind of car he was driving. We knew what kind of gun he had, and how much money he'd stolen, but we didn't know who he was or where to find him. The night dragged on. At 1:26 a.m., we got our first break in the case.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm one of the bank tellers.
Yes,
The officer who was with us went out to bring in some coffee.
I see.
He said if we found anything, to come in here.
Yes, that's right.
Well, we have. All of us agree. We're real sure.
What is it?
The hold-up man. We found his picture.
The suspect was identified as Thomas Bud Carey, WMA, 26 years. According to his package, he'd been arrested the first time when he was 16. He'd served a total of 5.5 years in state institutions. We checked with Fred Galloway of the Adult Authority and found that there was an outstanding warrant on Carey for parole violation. Additional broadcasts were gotten out carrying his name and description. Officers in the field were notified of the latest developments. While other teams of men covered Carey's known hangouts and friends, Frank and I left the office and drove out to see his mother. She lived in a run-down apartment house on the east side of town. The building was dark when we got there.
Yeah, here it is, number 5. Watch that.
Well, they ought to put a light in here. This ought to be it.
Yeah.
Maybe easy Carey might be here. Open up. Police officers, we want to talk to you.
Nothing for the cops. Get out of here and leave me alone.
Come on, Miss Carey, open up.
I ain't Miss Carey no more. Now go away.
We can do it two ways. You can talk to us here, or we can go downtown.
What's it about?
Your son.
On in. Where's he going?
We want to check.
For what? There ain't nothing here. One lousy room. That's it.
We can see.
It's the kitchen. Better take a look at the stove. Might be something there.
That place is clean, Joe.
It's not true either. Now, what do you want?
Have you seen your son?
He in trouble again?
We'd like to talk to him.
What's he done now?
You know where he is?
No.
You know where we can find him?
I haven't seen him for a couple of months. Might as well be dead.
Well, he isn't.
Ain't any difference to me, one way or the other.
You know where he lives?
It ain't here.
That's no kind of an answer.
Question don't fit either. Look, I'll tell you. I'm his mother. Long time ago, I gave him to the world. I've had trouble ever since. Gallagher again. I'll sleep with the radio on.
Lady, you got any idea where we can find your son?
No.
You got any close friends?
Maybe. If he has, I don't know.
How about girls?
What about him?
Has your son got one?
Last time I saw him, he had a couple. Both of them married. Same as always. He couldn't do anything the easy way. If it wasn't a problem, he'd make one.
Is there any place he'd go if he was in trouble?
What kind?
Ma'am?
What kind of trouble? What's he done this time?
It'd be better if we talked to him about it.
Yeah, always that way. Talk to him. Don't do any good. I tried for a lot of years. Didn't do no good. You know why?
What's that?
You know why it don't do no good?
Go ahead.
Because he don't listen. You can stand right in front of him and scream the top of your head right off, and he don't hear you.
Is that right?
He was little. First time I caught him stealing, I talked. All day and all night. For a week, I talked. He stood there and looked at me. It was over. You know what he did? You know?
No, ma'am.
He did it again. Every time he turned around, he stole something. I tried it all. Beatings, yelling, all of it. I tried it all. His father walked out when Bud was 6, left us by ourselves. I did everything I could to bring him up right. Read the books, saw the minister. Even had the relief people talk to him. He just wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
That time when he was 16, when we first picked him up, I thought that might do it. You know, being in jail, judge in the court. Oh, I prayed it'd work and he'd change. Didn't. A couple of days later, he was right back.
You tell his probation officers about it?
Bud was 5'10". He was 16, weighed 170 pounds. If I'd opened my mouth, he'd have hit me.
Pretty hard thing to say, isn't it?
Oh, it's harder to live with. All the time, all the tears. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of being alive. I used to pray for him. Asked God to make him come out of it, be a good man. I prayed and I prayed. And I figured I was praying for the wrong thing. So I changed.
Yeah.
I know him. I know how he thinks and what he'll do. He's mean. In the soles of his feet, he's mean. I still pray. Maybe you're the one to do it.
What's that?
Kill him.
Frank and I arranged for a stakeout on the building, then we drove back to City Hall. Captain Donahoe and Chief Brown were directing the search from the robbery office. The morning papers had carried the story, and we were receiving calls from citizens who'd seen Carey. From the report, it was believed he'd gotten out of the blockade area, and he was heading for the San Fernando Valley. Roadblocks were thrown up on streets leading off the freeway, and additional men were called in from the Valley Division to aid us in the search. 7:42 a.m. It had been 19 hours since Carey had held up the bank. In that time, the entire facilities of the police department had been devoted to his capture. Lieutenant Dave Terry from the sheriff's office had joined Captain Donahoe and was coordinating their activities with ours. 7:45 a.m. Frank got back with some hot coffee.
Anything new?
No, got a report Terry was seen at the Vineland cutoff.
Check out?
Don't know yet.
And I got some coffee for you, George.
Oh, thanks.
Anything happen?
Yeah, we got him pinned down.
Where?
Valley.
A lot of ground.
Well, we just got a call. Carey pulled into a gas station in Riverside. Attendant recognized him. Tried to stall. Carey got wise, started to leave.
Yeah.
Pulled a gun, shot the man up pretty bad.
Kill him?
No, they got him in Valley Emergency.
What about Carey?
Still loose.
Toner?
Yes.
Friday, Smith?
Right.
I see. We got him.
Where?
Broke into a house on Woodman. A couple of motorcycle officers got him pinned down.
Well, let's go.
Joe.
Yeah.
Tag the business office. Check out everything in the racks.
All right.
Go with him, Frank. We'll need gas shells and masks. Barricade and penetration. Better take a box of double L's for the shotguns and plenty of 45s.
Right. You be there?
Leaving now.
I'll go join Frank.
Okay.
Let's go.
That's getting rougher.
Yeah. Wonder about the house he's picked.
What do you mean?
Who's in it? What kind of place it is?
Doesn't make a lot of difference. We still got the same job.
Huh?
We got to get him out. We left the city hall and drove out to the valley, code 3. By the time we'd gotten there, several other officers from Central Robbery and the Valley Division were on the scene. We talked with Sergeant Pat Murphy of our office.
What do you know about the place?
6 rooms. Here, let me lay out for you. Got a pencil?
I got a pen here.
Oh, thanks. All right, now, the house is built in the shape of a U.
Mm-hmm.
The living room runs along the front, the dining room here on the corner.
Here?
Yeah. Now, the kitchen is here,
And here's the back door.
Any cover there?
Officers have found him while watching it.
Yeah.
There's a closet here off a service porch.
Go.
On the other side, there's a bedroom here, door, the bath, and another bedroom.
Just the two doors?
Yeah, the front and the one off the kitchen.
Where'd you get this layout?
I talked to the woman next door. She's a friend of the family, owns the place, been inside a lot.
Where are they?
With the family?
Yeah.
We're not sure. Neighbor says she thinks they're all out, and the man goes to work at 6. Woman usually drives the kid to school about 7:30.
Who put out the call?
Motor officers. They saw the car parked at the curb, went to check it out. Kerry was inside. He made the house.
They tried to get him out yet?
No, they weren't sure he was alone.
How'd you do?
Well, we got here right after they did. By the time we got to the curb, he started to shoot.
Any chance of getting to him from the back of the house?
Oh, it'd be rough. The shades are all pulled down. Hard to tell where he is. If we go in, he could be sitting under the window waiting for us.
How about the phone?
We tried, and he won't answer it.
Well, that all of it?
Much as we got. Well, what do you want to do?
I'll give him a chance to walk out. It'll be his choice.
Talk to him?
Yeah. Give him a chance to open the door.
Well, it's going to be hard. We haven't been able to get near the place.
Now, big thing's to make sure he's alone.
As far as we've been able to tell, he is. There's no movement inside, no noise. Trying to round up the family now.
Can't wait for that. Let's get on it.
I'll try to talk to him.
Well, you can't make it, Joe. He's in a box and he knows it.
Well, maybe that'll bring him out.
You want to do it? Go ahead.
All right.
He makes a move. Get out. Fast.
I won't need that. We'll give you coverage. All right. Last time you heard from me was in the living room. Is that right?
Yeah. There's 3 windows on the left there.
Okay.
Easy, Joe.
Carrie? Carrie? Carrie. Come on, Carrie. You can't sit in there forever. Play it smart. Walk outside and it'll be all right. Don't cause any more trouble now. How about it? Carrie? You're making it rougher on yourself. Come on out, Carrie. You can't win. You know that. Oh, get out of there! I don't have to tell you, it didn't work.
Yeah. Clock ran out before you started.
Carrie isn't going to walk. Nope.
Well, he called it.
Yep.
Get the gas guns.
The people living across the street and on each side of the house were asked to leave their homes in the event there would be any more shooting. The riot guns were brought from the car and they were loaded with penetration gas shells. Because of the physical layout of the house, it was decided to shoot into the rear of the building and try to drive the suspect toward the front of the place. Officer Murphy, along with Lieutenant Stoner, went back to the alley that ran along the rear of the property. The 2 uniformed men covered the sides of the house, and Frank and I took up our stations in front of the building. 9:14 a.m.
How's the time?
Well, they ought to be in position.
Mm-hmm.
You all set on that gun?
Yeah. You think he'll give up?
I don't know. Flip a coin.
Ought to be laying it in now pretty quick.
There it goes.
The way the house is divided, he could close the doors to the back rooms and keep us going for a while.
We still have an idea where he is in the house.
Yeah. I'm sure pouring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lousy stuff. Tear gas. Lousy. Still remember it from the academy.
Frank.
Huh?
Front window, see it?
No, where?
Shade was pulled back. I think I saw something.
Carrie?
Get the Stoner. Tell him to hold the gun.
Yeah.
There's a woman in there with him. Because of the possibility that there might be another person in the house, all shooting into the building was stopped. An immediate effort was made to identify the other person. The owner of the place, Virgil Bush, was contacted. He told us that he and his wife had left the house at about the same time. She'd taken their son to a neighborhood school, and then he thought that she'd returned to the house. A check was made at the school, and the youngster was found to be present. From all indications, Mrs. Bush was in the house with Carrie and was being held a hostage. 10:56 a.m., we met with Captain Donahoe and Lieutenant Stoner.
Any chance you were wrong, Joe?
No, I don't think so. Right after the guns went off, I thought I saw the woman at the front window. Looked like she was trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do now, Skipper?
Not much left. The woman's got to get out of there before we can go in after Carrie.
Best way to do that's go in after her.
Yeah.
What about using triple chasers?
Might work.
If we go in the back way, we can drive Carrie toward the living room.
Yeah, but what if he takes the woman with him?
Keep him busy enough, and he won't.
Figure she's given him plenty of trouble by this time. It'll be rough for him to drag her along.
Then it might work.
Who's going in?
Frank and I can do it.
You can give us a cover.
Where are you going to make it?
Which rooms did you hit, Stoner?
Back bedroom and the kitchen.
That covers both sides of the house, then.
Yeah.
The gas holding?
As far as we can tell, it's still there.
It might be better then to go into the bedroom. Drive Carrie into the living room. Hope we can pick up the woman on the way.
All right. You got the mask?
I'll get him. Want to give me a hand, Frank?
Yeah.
We'll give you all the cover we can, Joe.
Good.
We can't shoot into the house, but we'll make Carrie think we are.
All right.
Once you got the woman, bring her out.
All right.
If Carrie goes into the living room, don't try to go after him. Let him sit for a while. We'll take care of the rest of it later.
Okay.
Here you go, Joe.
All right.
Here are the triple chasers. 6 of them ought to do, huh?
Yeah.
I'll take the sawed off. You should be able to handle him with that.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell either one of you to take it easy.
Nope.
We want that woman, but we want her alive. Anything comes up that gets in the way, pull out. Don't wait to ask questions.
Right.
All right, get on it.
Let's go, Frank.
Right.
Joe.
Yeah.
Carrie's rough. He's playing for keeps. You know he'll kill you if he gets a chance.
Well, that makes it easy.
Hmm?
We won't give him one.
Frank and I went around to the back of the house and put on the gas masks. He loaded the shotgun and flipped off the safety. I checked the triple chasers. They're about the size of a beer can, and they're built like a hand grenade. 2 seconds after the pin is pulled and the lever is released, the shell explodes into 3 parts. Each of them throws out a large quantity of tear gas. By using them, an officer can completely fill an area with gas almost immediately. A few minutes after we were in position, the covering gun fire started.
Oh, that's it. Let's go.
Yeah.
You going to toss one in the bedroom?
Better. Make sure it's clear.
Okay.
I'll watch it.
Go ahead. I'll cover you.
All right. All right, come on.
All right. That's clean.
Yeah, let's get the next room. It's the bathroom, isn't it?
Should be.
Well, if you get the door, I'll toss the shell.
Right.
Wait a minute.
You got the pin?
Wait a minute. Ah, go ahead. Give it a second.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
And it's empty.
Yeah. Bedroom next?
Uh-huh.
Hold it. Okay. Now, let's go.
It's Carrie.
He's in the living room.
We better get him.
Wait a minute. Huh? On the bed, it's the woman. Come on, we better get her out of here.
Right. You naked?
I think so. Get that window, will you?
Yeah. Wait till I get the shade. I'll go first, and I'll take her on the outside.
All right.
Hold it right there, Carrie. It's us, Murph. Friday and Smith, give us a hand. We got the woman.
Here, let me help.
Okay, Joe.
All right, you got her?
Yeah.
All right. Come on, let's get her out of here.
Wait till I get this mask off, will you? Okay, Joe.
Wait a minute. Yeah. How's the woman?
Well, she seems to be all right. Want to give me a hand getting this tape off?
Yeah.
Thank God you made it. I thought he was going to kill me. Every minute I thought he was going to kill me.
All right, now, Miss Bush, take it easy.
He's crazy. That man's crazy. If you hadn't got it, he'd have killed me, sure. I know.
All right, Miss Bush, let's get out of here. Come on.
You got her, huh?
Yeah, Skipper.
You all right, ma'am?
Yes, it isn't his fault, though. I've never seen anybody like that before.
All right, Mrs. Bush. You want to take her to the car, Murphy?
Sure. Just a minute, ma'am.
What?
Can you tell us how many guns Carrie's got?
What?
How many guns did you see?
What difference does it make?
Makes a lot of difference to us.
I don't know. He's got a pistol.
Yeah, we saw that. Anything else?
Yeah, he's got a rifle, too, a shotgun, I think.
Did you see it?
He brought it into the house.
Where is it?
What do you mean?
What part of the house is it in, do you know?
The front room, I guess. That's where it was the last time I saw it.
Has he got any shells for it?
Yeah, a lot of them. Had his pockets full.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
You going to get him now?
We're going to try.
You'll have to shoot him.
Ma'am?
He told me so himself. Said you wouldn't take him alive.
Uh-huh.
Told me if you tried, he'd take a couple of you with him.
Well, it isn't going to change things. He's still going. Ms. Bush was taken to one of the neighborhood houses, and we got ready to take the suspect into custody. The house was completely surrounded. All of the doors and windows were covered. Each man was instructed to shoot to kill in the event Carrie tried to escape or made any effort to fire into the crowd. In a last attempt to get him out of the house without additional bloodshed, the bullhorn was brought from the car, and we tried to talk to him.
Here you are, Joe.
All right.
Tell him this is the last time around, Joe. We're through playing games.
All right. Carrie? Carrie, give it up. Throw those guns out and you follow them. All right, we'll tell you where you stand. There are a lot of us out here. We've all got orders to kill you if you try anything. You think you can sit in there and we can't touch you? You got it wrong. We'll blow the roof off if we have to.
Tell him he's got 10 seconds, Joe.
All right.
Count them off for him.
All right.
Stand by with gas guns.
Yes.
Go ahead, Joe.
Terry, you're running out of time. We'll give you 10 seconds to come out of there. It's the last time. Throw the guns out and come out after them. 10 seconds, Carrie. That's all you got. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's all you got. Time's up.
All right, throw them in. Cover that front porch.
Here's a machine gun, Joe.
I got it.
Must have good lungs.
Yeah.
Toss some more in.
Got to come out pretty quick.
Yeah.
There he is. Got that shotgun. Keep down.
Yeah.
Easy now.
Carrie. Carrie.
Not moving.
Cover me.
Yeah.
How about it? It's all right. Must have been dead when he hit the floor.
Yeah, we were lucky.
No.
What?
We had to kill him.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On Monday, May 9th, an inquest was held in the coroner's office in and for the county of Los Angeles, state of California. The coroner's jury found that the death of Thomas Herbert Carey was caused by gunshot wounds resulting from an attempt to resist arrest. The officers were absolved from blame.
Dragnet. The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Put a smile in your smoking.
By Chesterfield. So smooth. So satisfying. Chesterfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. An elderly woman reports that a man has stolen $300 from her apartment. She says she saw him. Your job? Check it out.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember this. In the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like Chesterfield.
Put a smile in your smoking.
Instantly, you'll smile your approval of Chesterfield's smoothness.
So smooth, so satisfying.
You want them mild. We make them mild. Mild and mellow. With the smooth and refreshing taste of the right combination of the world's best tobaccos. So next time you buy cigarettes, stop.
Start smoking with a smile with Chesterfield. Smiling all the while with Chesterfield. Put a smile in your smoking, just give them a try. Light up a Chesterfield, they satisfy.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, May 19th. It was sunny in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We're on our way out from the office, and it was 3:47 p.m. when we got to a small apartment house on the corner of Olympic and 6th. The Topeka Arms.
What's that lady's name again, Joe?
Dunbetter, Martha Dunbetter.
Let's see. Yeah, here's her mailbox, number 8.
Must be upstairs.
Well, how do you figure that?
Only 8 mail slots means 8 apartments.
Yeah?
Stands to reason number 8 will be on the second floor, don't it?
Oh, well, I suppose so. Hey, Joe, I wonder who comes from Kansas.
What?
Well, didn't you notice the plaque out in front? Topeka Arms.
Yeah.
That's a city in Kansas. Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah, sure.
Well, somebody must have come from there, the owner or the builder. Why else would they give the place a name like that?
I don't know.
Well, stands to reason, doesn't it?
I guess so.
Well, you see, you're not the only one who can do it.
Do what?
Deduce.
Oh.
That's what they call it, the way you figured out number 8's the second floor. Deduction.
Yeah.
I was just giving you an example. When I proved that somebody connected with the building probably lived in Kansas, didn't you? Right down there. 8, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Deduction never fails, Joe.
Who's there?
Police officers.
Oh, well, just a second. I'm coming. My goodness, you certainly got back. Oh, well, dear me, you aren't the same ones, are you?
No, ma'am. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Well, there were 2 other policemen here just a little while ago. Shame you didn't know. Could have saved yourself a trip.
That's all right, ma'am. We knew they'd be here.
They're patrol car officers. They were in the neighborhood, so they answered your call.
Oh, well,
All right if we come in?
Oh, my, yes. Oh, yes. Please do.
You're Mrs. Martha Dunbetter, is that right?
No, not exactly.
Oh?
It's Miss Dunbetter. I'm still single.
I see.
Well, ma'am, would you mind telling us just what happened this afternoon?
Oh, no, I don't mind at all. It's still quite clear.
All right, would you go ahead?
What was that, young man?
Would you go ahead about this afternoon?
Oh, well, now, let's see. I fixed myself some lunch. And then I rid up the dishes. Must have been about 1 o'clock by the time I finished.
All right.
Afterwards, I put on my hat and I went down to the library. It's only a couple of blocks from here, the Grover Cleveland branch.
Mm-hmm.
I took back my books and checked out 2 fresh ones.
All right. What happened next?
Well, I come home and there he was.
What's that?
I come home and there he was.
Who?
Well, that awful man.
Well, just where was he?
Here, in my apartment.
No, I mean which room?
Over there, the bedroom.
I see.
As soon as I come in, I heard him. At least I heard somebody moving around. First, I thought it was Mrs. Parker, the manager. I know she sneaks into my apartment and noses around. Of course, she says she doesn't, but I know better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said to myself, I got her red-handed this time. So I marched him to the bedroom all ready to give her a piece of my mind.
Well,
I was never so flabbergasted in my whole life. He was standing in front of the dresser, going through my pocketbook.
I see.
My black bag and leather. It's the one he was holding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ma'am, how much money was in the bag?
Well, I'm not positive. Not to the penny. About $300.
In cash?
Yes, sir. You see, I've been saving dimes for the past 15 years.
You mean this $300 was in dimes?
Oh, goodness gracious, no.
Oh.
What I do is go through my change every night and put all the dimes in my dime bank. Then when it's full, I take it down to a real bank and change the coins into bills. A dime bank holds $25.
I see.
Well, you'd be surprised how much a person can save that way. It mounts up.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know the denominations of the bills?
I guess they was mostly tens. Maybe 1 or 2 bigger ones.
Mm-hmm. So what did this man do next, Miss Dunbetter?
Well, he found money. My $300. Stuffed it into his pockets. Then he just strolled out of the apartment big as life. I was too dumbfounded to do anything about it.
I see.
I heard him tramp down the stairs, and then I heard the front door slam. When I was sure he was out of the building, I managed to get my wits together and I dialed Central.
Central?
The operator. And she put me in touch with the police station.
Had you ever seen this man before, Miss Dunbetter?
No, I'm sure I never did.
Could you tell us what he looked like?
Well, he's a tall man.
How tall?
Big as you, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. What color hair, please?
Dark. Very dark.
Eyes?
Dark eyes, too. Dark complected. Like he'd spent a lot of time outdoors.
How was he dressed?
A shirt and pants and a jacket. Light-colored jacket. I think it was green.
Did you notice any scars?
Yes. Come to think of it, I did. Across his forehead. Thin little zigzag.
Mm-hmm. Well, how old would you say he was?
Oh, he's young. 35, maybe 40.
You know if anybody else saw him? The other tenants?
Well, I haven't talked to him, no. Haven't left the apartment since it happened.
You live alone here, do you?
Oh, my, no. My sister Bessie stays with me.
Well, where is she this afternoon?
Well, she went out of town for a few days. Visit her grandson and his family. They come down from Oxnard to get her this morning.
I see.
Tomorrow's her birthday. She'll be 80. I expect they're going to have quite a celebration.
Yes, ma'am.
They're all carrying on. You'd think it was such an accomplishment.
Well, it is a pretty ripe old age, ma'am.
I don't see what's so ripe about it. After all, I'm near 79 myself. Oh, I know I don't look it. Everybody thinks there's at least 10 years between us. And Bessie is failing.
Yes, ma'am. Just a couple more questions, Miss Dunleary.
Certainly, young man, certainly.
What time was it when you got home from the library?
2:45. Maybe a few minutes after. No later than 3, though.
I see. How'd this fellow get into the apartment? Was the door locked?
Well, I thought it was. I always try to remember to lock it whenever I go out, but sometimes I do forget. Well, I guess I did today.
Mm-hmm. You think he'd recognize the burglar if you saw him again?
I most assuredly would.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing the matter with my eyesight.
Oh, that's fine. We'd like to take you down to the office with us and show you some pictures.
No?
Just to see if you can identify him.
Well, I couldn't go like this. I'll have to change my dress first. Well, I'm all right for walking around the neighborhood, but not for going downtown.
Well, that's up to you, ma'am.
I'll say Miss Dunbetter while I think of it. Who came from Kansas?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, the name of this apartment, you see, is the Topeka Arms, so I figured somebody connected with it must have come from Kansas.
Oh.
You don't know who it was, do you?
Well, now, let me think. Oh, yes, I remember. That was old Mr. Hendrickson's idea.
Well, you don't say.
Yes, he was the man who built this building. Well, now, that was, oh, goodness sakes, that was almost 35 years ago. My, how time flies.
Yes, ma'am. How you like that, Joe? This Mr. Hendrickson came from Kansas.
No. Minnesota. Minneapolis, as I recollect.
Oh?
But it was his idea, just the same, calling it Topeka Arms. On kind of an article he read in the newspaper while the building was going up.
Ma'am?
Said there was more people in Southern California who come from Kansas than any other state.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Henderson figured the name Topeka would attract a lot of tenants. It's ridiculous nonsense. Said so at the time. There hasn't been a single solitary one.
Oh.
35 years. Not a soul from Kansas has ever lived here.
4:05 p.m. Frank and I put in a call at the crime lab. While Miss Dunbetter changed her dress, we checked the other apartments to see if anybody else had seen the burglar. Only one tenant was in. Mrs. J.T. Blade, apartment 6, informed us that she'd been out marketing at the time of the crime and had just returned home. 4:16 p.m. Lee Jones and a crew from the crime lab arrived. They began their investigation, and we drove Miss Dunbetter down to the city hall. We checked the oddity file and ran the suspect's description and M.O. through the staff's office, and they came up with 17 possibles. We pulled mug shots and showed them to Miss Dunbetter. She was unable to make an identification. 6:13 p.m., Lee Jones reported no useful fingerprints or other physical evidence in the apartment. 6:46 p.m., we drove Miss Dunbetter home and we went off duty. The next day, May 20th, 11:17 a.m. I'll get it. Burglary Friday. Who's that? Oh, sure. Yeah. When'd he come in? I see. Oh? Well, I wouldn't know. What's he look like? Yeah, we'd like to. Right. Thanks a lot. That was Chubb Starks.
Who?
You know, Stark, the bartender over at the Yellow Cap.
Oh, yeah. What's he want?
Guy came into his place last night. He was carrying a pretty big roll. He threw it around, bought drinks for the house.
Yeah.
Got kind of loaded and did some talking about how easy he'd picked up the dough. Just walked in again this morning.
Huh. Sound like anything to you?
And Chubb says he's about 6 foot, black hair.
Yeah.
Scar on his forehead.
Put a smile in your smoking. Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember this. It's today's biggest cigarette news.
Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray.
The Accuray controller is the greatest improvement in cigarette making in years. And it's a Chesterfield exclusive. This amazing quality detective electronically checks and controls the making of your Chesterfield, giving a uniformity in smoking quality never possible before. So buy Chesterfield today. For the first time, you get a perfect smoke column from end to end.
A perfect smoke column from end to end.
From the first puff to the last puff, your Chesterfield smokes smoother. From the first puff to the last puff, your Chesterfield smokes cooler.
From the first puff to the last puff, Chesterfield is best for you.
Next time you buy cigarettes, stop. Remember,
Chesterfield is made the modern way with Accuray.
Put a smile in your smoking, just give them a try. Light up a Chesterfield, they satisfy.
Frank and I drove out to the Yellow Cap Bar on Figueroa. Chubb Stark, the bartender, pointed out a husky man sitting in a corner booth. We went over to talk to him.
Keep your hands on the table and stand up.
Huh? Police officers, on your feet.
Okay.
All right, you can sit down again.
Something eating you guys?
What's your name?
Why?
Come on, what is it?
Portlong, Ralph Portlong.
Where do you live?
Hotel around the corner?
How long you been staying there?
Since last night.
How about before that?
Back east, they just got in town yesterday.
Whereabouts back east?
What kind of a roust is this?
Where back east?
All over. Chicago, Cleveland, all over.
What kind of business you in?
Unemployed.
You got any money?
Some.
How much?
Look, I ain't no vag if that's what you're getting.
How much money you got?
$100, maybe 150.
Where'd you get it?
I borrowed it.
Who from?
Pal.
In L.A.?
Chicago.
What's his name?
Johnson, Cliff Johnson.
You got his address?
I don't know. He moves around same as I do.
How you going to pay him back if you don't know where he lives?
We'll bump into each other.
What'd you say you got in town, Portland?
I told you yesterday.
What time?
6 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Yesterday morning?
Last night.
You sure of that?
Yeah.
How'd you come? Train?
Car.
You own the car?
I hitched a ride.
Just where were you yesterday afternoon?
Riding into L.A.
All afternoon.
Yep.
What was the driver's name?
Look, how should I? And I've been hitching for the last week. I must row with 20 different guys.
You don't remember the one you were with yesterday?
Nope.
Ever been arrested, Portland?
Nothing serious.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh, drunk, that's all.
And where was that?
Ohio, when I was a kid.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got some speeding tickets.
You ever been arrested in California?
Never been in California.
First trip, huh?
Yep. You ain't exactly making me feel at home either.
You know an apartment house called the Topeka Arms?
Whereabouts?
6th and Olympic.
Where's that?
In L.A.
Look, can't you get nothing straight? I ain't never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
How about giving me an answer? Why the roust?
All right, come on, let's go.
What for?
We'll show you the sights.
For instance?
City Hall. Frank and I took the suspect into custody for further questioning. 12:16 p.m. We ran the name Ralph Portlong through R&I. They had nothing on him. We put out an APB with his description stating that he was in our custody. The bulletin requested any information about the suspect and was marked attention Chicago PD and Cleveland Police Department. 2:18 p.m. We again interviewed Portlong. He insisted he had not arrived in Los Angeles until 6 o'clock the previous evening and refused to say anything more. 4:06 p.m. We received replies to our APB on Portlong. Chicago reported 2 convictions for grand theft auto, and Cleveland reported 1 conviction for burglary second degree. We telephoned Miss Dunbetter and arranged for her to attend a special show-up at the main jail. 6:17 p.m. The show-up was completed, and Frank and I took the victim back to our office.
Well, ma'am, you're sure it isn't the same man?
My goodness gracious, I ought to know.
Yes.
Let's see how you could have made such a mistake.
Well, he fits your description even to the scar.
But I told you it was ziggity-zag.
Yeah, you did.
This man's scar's entirely different.
Yes, ma'am.
His hair's wrong, too.
Is that right?
Other man had some gray in it right across here.
I thought you said he was fairly young.
But he doesn't have to be old to get gray. I've been gray ever since I had my appendix out. I was only 34.
All right. We'll have you taken home now.
It's really a shame.
Ma'am?
You arrested that poor fellow. And he hasn't done anything.
Burglary Friday. Yeah, that's right. When'd you get it? No, not yet. Will you notify him? Right. Well, I guess we don't need to feel too sorry for Portlaw.
What do you mean?
Another answer on our APB.
Yeah?
You're right, Miss Dunbetter. He couldn't have been your burglar.
Well, I told you, didn't I?
He was in Needles yesterday afternoon. He hitched a ride.
Yeah?
Slugged the driver. Ralph Portlaw was held pending arrival of authorities from Needles. The investigation of the apartment house burglary continued. 2 more suspects were brought in for questioning. Both men succeeded in establishing alibis for the time of the crime. Monday, May 23rd, 1:48 p.m. Frank and I were on our way back to the office from lunch.
How was your pie?
All right.
Just okay, huh?
I said it was all right.
Lemon meringue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, Joe. You should have had apple.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, stick with apple. You can't go wrong.
The lemon was good.
You didn't finish it.
I was full.
Yeah. Well, someday you'll learn.
Learn what?
Apple pie is always safe. You can't louse it up. Even a bad cook can.
Well, I get a little tired of it once in a while, that's all.
Well, no reason you should. You can switch it around so many different ways.
Yeah, I know.
Cheese, a la mode, hot sauce. No reason to get tired of apple, Joe.
Sure.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Call for you while you were out.
Oh?
Hey, she wants you to call back. Here's the number.
Thanks.
Sure.
Bessie Maxson.
Who's that?
I don't know. Mrs. Maxson? This is the police department, Sergeant Friday. Yes, that's right. We were the ones. I guess we can. Well, is something wrong? You sure of that? All right away. Thank you for calling. Goodbye. Miss Dunbetter's sister, she just got back from Oxnard.
Yeah?
She says it never happened.
What do you mean?
The burglary. Says her sister made it up. Frank and I drove out to the Topeka Arms, and we went up to apartment number 8. It was 217 when we got there.
Somebody's coming again.
Oh.
Well, what is it?
Ms. Maxson?
That's right.
Well, my name's Friday. I just spoke to you over the telephone.
No. Yes, of course.
This is Frank Smith.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do, ma'am?
Come right along inside.
Thank you.
I just don't know what to say. I suppose it's all my fault for going out of town. Should never have left Martha alone. Might have known she'd be up to something.
Are you positively sure about this, Miss Maxson?
About what?
That there wasn't any burglary?
Oh, never in a million years.
Well, your sister gave us all the details.
Play acting, that's all it was. Play acting. She's done it all her life.
Oh, I see.
You mean Miss Dunbetter isn't...
My sister is as sane as you are, if that's what you're driving at.
Well, then why'd she tell us that story, do you know?
Haven't got the vaguest notion. She simply won't give me any explanation.
Oh, I see.
If the story was true, why won't she face me? Why is she hiding?
Hiding?
The minute I told her I was going to call you, she locked herself in the bathroom.
Is that right?
Been in there for 2 hours now. She simply refuses to come out.
Well, we'd like to talk to her if we can.
Yeah, I'll try again. Back to church here may have some influence.
You think we're getting a runaround, Joe?
Sounds that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Martha? Martha, you come out of there this instant. Martha Dunbetter, do you hear me? The policeman wants to talk to you. Now come out. The police are here.
I won't never come out.
I never heard of such childishness. You see, I'm not able to do a thing with her.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe if you speak to her, she'll come to her senses.
All right.
Oh, sister carrying on like this. I don't know how I'll ever be able to hold my head up again. It's scandalous.
Miss Dunbetter, this is Sergeant Friday. Miss Dunbetter, will you come out so we can talk to you? Miss Dunbetter?
Well, it's about time. Whatever were you thinking of, Martha? What got into you?
I'm speaking to you, Bessie.
Let's go into the other room. Be easier to talk there.
Yes, sir. Not speaking to me, huh? Well, two can play at that game. And I assure you, I won't be the one who suffers.
All right, ladies, would you like to sit down? Now, Miss Dunbetter, can we clear this thing up now? Your sister says there wasn't any burglary.
Just how would she know she wasn't here, was she?
I know because I know you. Yeah. And I know you never had $300 to your name.
I did, too.
Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it?
None of your business.
All right, now, how about it, Miss Dunbetter? Did you have $300? Well?
Never said it was exactly $300. Not to the penny.
$3 would be more like it.
There happens to be a few things you don't know about, including my savings.
A likely story. You never saved a penny in your life.
What about my dime?
I shook it the other day.
I'll thank you to keep your hands off my property.
Savings, indeed. If I didn't pay most of the expenses around here, you'd starve to death.
I managed quite well before you moved in on me, Bessie, and I was perfectly happy living alone. Matter of fact, I preferred that arrangement.
But maybe you'd like to try it again.
Maybe I would. I'm sure it'd be money ahead. Huh. Don't you hark me, Bessie Maxim. You ought to see the way she eats. Gobble, gobble, gobble. She shovels it down.
Stuff and nonsense. I don't have any more appetite than a bird.
Birds don't nip the cooking, Sherry.
Martha Dunbetter. How can you say such a thing?
Because I know it's true. I'm off the bottle.
Well, whatever I do, I don't fib to the police like some people I could name.
Well, Miss Dunbetter?
I made exaggerated respect.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to do no harm?
I wonder if you know it's against the law to file a false police report.
Against the law?
There. You see? You're going to jail. I knew it had happened. I knew that sooner or later you'd disgrace all of us.
Why'd you do it? You must have had a reason, ma'am.
I won't tell you. Not in front of her, I won't.
Oh. Well, now, let's see. Would you mind waiting in the other room for a couple of minutes, Miss Maxon?
I most certainly would.
We'd appreciate it if you would.
No, very well. Very well. You think I was the criminal around here?
All right, Miss Dunbetter, tell us now, will you?
It's very difficult to explain.
Well, give it a try, will you?
See, it was all on account of her, Bessie.
Go ahead.
Started when we was little girls. It's because she's older. She's always lording it over me. Mom and Daddy always gave her everything first. Hand-me-downs, it's all I got. Bessie's hand-me-downs.
Oh, I see.
And when we grew up, I couldn't push myself very much. She's just the opposite. There at the ball. She had a pick of all the young gentlemen in town. The only time they'd take me out was when Bessie was busy. I don't think she didn't let me know that I had second choice. The only reason she married a Horace because he took a fancy to me. Well, I had my pride, too. Wouldn't settle for her leftovers. That's why I stayed single.
I see.
The least she could have done was name one of her little girls after me. After all, I'm her only sister.
Well, Miss Dunbetter, you still haven't told us why you reported the burglary.
I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
On account of her birthday. Well, that was the last straw. She hasn't talked about anything else for months and months. It's because she's 80 years old, you'd think she was the Queen of Romania. A picture in the paper, people making a fuss about her. Well, I made up my mind that for once in my life someone was going to make a fuss about me.
I see.
To tell you the truth, I'm not a bit sorry I did it. I mean, yes, I should be sorry. But I'm not. I really enjoyed myself. And all those questions you asked me, like I was somebody. My name was in the papers, too. First time it ever happened. That's strange when you come to think about it, to live 79 years without ever seeing your name in print. Oh, but that wasn't the best part.
Ma'am?
The best part was Bessie not being able to horn in and take all the credit. Oh, I knew you'd find me out sooner or later, but I didn't care. I sure had the laugh on her. All the time she's in Oxnard being partied, I was having a little party of my own.
Yeah. Well, you know, you didn't need to put us through all this, Miss Dunbetter. You're almost 80 yourself.
It's over a year away. When you're my age, you can't be sure of anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Besides, even when I'm 80, Bessie will still be ahead.
How's that?
She'll be going on 90.
The story you've just heard is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
On May 26th, the hearing was held in the office of Perry Thomas, city attorney. In a moment, the results of that hearing.
Now, here's our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Put a smile in your smoking. Buy Chesterfield. It's the best cigarette ever made for my money. Smooth, satisfying, mild, and mellow. Believe me, in the whole wide world, no cigarette satisfies like Chesterfield.
Due to the advanced age of Miss Martha Dunbetter, and because of her assurances that she would never repeat her actions, no charges were filed against her.
Better schools build better communities. Join and work with your fellow citizens who are actively seeking to improve educational conditions.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Virginia Gregg, Jack Crucian, Helen Cleve. Script by Frank Burt. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely different Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspapers for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
This is it, L&M filters. It stands out from all the rest. Miracle tip, much more flavor.
L&M's got everything.
It's the best.
Yes, L&M's got everything. The Miracle Tip is white, pure white, to give you the purest and best filter. And you get a rich, good-tasting, fully satisfying smoke from L&M's highest quality tobaccos. Buy L&M, America's best filter tip cigarette. It's sweeping the country.
One man stands between death and 10 people on TV's new dramatic program, Mr. Citizen. See Edward Binns, star in the true story, Terror on Jackrabbit Hill. Check your local TV listings for Mr. Citizen. Hear Dragnet next week, same time, same station.
Lux Radio Theater presents Barry Sullivan in Rope of Sand tonight on the NBC Radio Network.